next statement that fell out of her mouth when she used the same language that you did. Again, to me, I saw a lot of smiling, I saw a lot of giggling, but I didn't hear any sternness towards correcting and addressing the matter. Like, hey, while I appreciate you taking the time out to correct Daddy and what he had to say, you didn't have to use that language, and I don't want you using that language.
So my next question to you is this: Why is cursing such a horrible thing to you?
No, it's not a horrible thing to me. I was in the military. Cursing is nothing to me. It's an issue when I hear little children doing it. That's where I draw a line.
That's what I'm trying to get to. Why is it an issue? She didn't curse at me.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It doesn't sound right.
So,
it doesn't sound,
so that's why I want to get
to.
I want to have
the issues. It does not. The issue is it does not.
Before we move past the reason, I got you. Before we move past the reason why you don't like it, tell me why you don't like a little kid using a curse word.
Because it does not sound right coming from their mouth. Any of it.
So you don't have no reason for it.
You
personally. I just want to make sure
that is not a reason. You asked me for my reason. I've given you the reason, and before I can complete explaining the reason, you're ready to jump to the next point. 1 second, right? And the reason I have an issue with young children using their language, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because it reflects poorly on the parents. It's not. I'm saying it does reflect poorly because if I'm out in public and I've never seen you before, I just happen to be walking by and I hear your kid drop an F-bomb directly. Doesn't matter whether it's at you, out loud, or just. I'm gonna immediately jump to the conclusion like, what the fuck is going on in that house?
So now I would say this to you. So now if my child was to stub her toe and she's like, fuck, should I be mad at her? Huh?
No, you shouldn't be mad at her. But again, if that is the first word that's coming to her mind, are you not going to have a conversation with her about that? Are you not going to say, hey, what's going on?
Because that is the proper use of the word.
It's
supposed to be an exaggeration of how you feel. So if she stubbed her toe, she says, fuck. I'm not going to beat her or put her down and say you shouldn't use that word. That's the proper use of the word.
So now you're trying to police the context in which the word can be used or can't be used.
Exactly.
I'm not.
Right.
I'm
because
not.
you're saying, I want to make sure you're saying there's no way that a curse word should ever be used by a child, even though you use it all the time in front of your own children.
Again. What's defined by a child? What is defined by a child? Before
you move forward, I'm asking you a question before you move forward.
And I need clarification before I can give you a proper answer. Clarification is, what are we defining as a child? Because my child is 10, your child is 3. Are they the same and do they have the same level of understanding? I doubt it.
Black, I'm asking you a question.
And I would like to answer your question, but I need a clarification first. We'll definitively grant you the answer that you're looking for, but I need you to clarify a statement first. What are we defining as a child? Anyone under the age of?
A child is anything under the age of 8.
Okay. So again, I use my language around my child who is 9, about to be 10, and you use your language around your child who is 3. There's a difference now. So now, if you ask me, for my situation, it's fine because she's going to hear that language through public, through the radio, through her friends at school. Again, I cannot control what she hears outside of me and how she responds to that. I want her to be able to walk this earth to make her own decisions. However, on your hand, your child being 3 years old, that's a little bit different because she's more in your kid than she's in with anyone else, or she listens to you more than she listens to anything else in her environment. So then the question is, why are you using such foul language that your 3-year-old knows how to use said language, instead of judging me for using the language around my 9-year-old who doesn't use the language at all?
Because again, you don't know if your child uses the language. You said it yourself.
Again, the only time I cannot be aware of this is when she's with her friends. Other than that, I am very much aware that she does not use the language in school. I've never had a teacher contact me and said, your daughter's language is out of pocket. I've never had another adult in the street stop me and said, I've heard your daughter speaking ill and I don't like the way she speaks. That's never happened. I would love for it to happen.
Okay, cool. So again, that's cool that you feel that is a cool argument. So can I use the same argument that you just said? I never had that situation to me neither. Out of 24 years of parenting, is that fine?
So again, now that you've ran into this,
before you move forward, I asked you a direct question. For some reason, hold on.
I am acknowledging this is why we're moving forward.
No, hold on. I'm letting you
acknowledgement.
We gotta be able to have some conversation. We gotta be able to see points. We cannot just say whatever we want to say. So 24 years of me parenting, not one time any one of my children ever had to come to a room and say, hey, your child using bad language.
So this is the first.
Okay, again, did you
So this
answer
is the first.
before
I'm asking you a question. You said you made a statement.
Again,
you made it in 24.
again,
so now at the end of 24,
again,
this is the first.
Black,
So
you
again,
are not answering questions, brother.
You're not answering questions. What you mean?
So
Is this your first instance of your child using foul language?
Hold on. Let me explain what's going on. I asked you a question just now, and then you asked me a question before answering my question.
I acknowledge your question, and before I can agree or disagree wholeheartedly, I am just asking you one clarification. Is this your first instance of your child using foul language in your presence or in public? You refuse to answer that part of the question. Just answer it, yes or no. Quick, it's a very quick. Quick yes or no.
That has nothing. So again, that should not.
Because then it speaks to your experience that you've never had to deal with this before. And this is your first instance of it. So you not knowing what to do, I can understand why you didn't know what to do or how to address the matter. Cool. Maybe I can give you I can concede and give you back a little bit of respect because hey, you don't know until you don't know what you don't know until you don't know. So now you don't know because in 24 years you've never ran into this experience. Now that you're at this experience, hopefully going forward, you know to address it directly and not to be laughing and giggling and letting your daughter. I understand that she's looking at you one way, but the public can't see that. All we see is you laughing, your wife actually being the authority in the house, walking your child out of the space, and then you trying to explain this whole thing away like, oh, it happened.
It's me trying to have a conversation with an adult, and you are making it very difficult. I don't know why. I'm allowing you to speak.
I'm making it difficult?
Oh my God.
Go ahead. What do you ask your question? I'm going to ask your question because now that I know this is your first instance in 24 years, I can answer your question. Go ahead. What is your question?
My question
in 24 years, I have never ran into this.
My question to you: out of 24 years, no teacher said to me that my kid says or use foul language. So now, what's the difference between me and you experience with our children in school?
Again, I said that there was no difference. The difference is what difference is this?
I don't need a soliloquy about the question. Okay, fine. So therefore, now out of 24 years of that, my children never got reprimanded. Now, when we are having a conversation and my child, she did not curse at me. She told me what not to say. She just used the word because she heard it. She don't understand what the word means. Right, and I could definitively say my children.
I don't believe that. Hold on. Wait a minute. You just said something that don't make sense. She doesn't understand what the word means, so she can come tell you that you're not supposed to say it.
Before you tell me to wait a minute. Make sure we are clear. So now that I'm going to acquiesce to your wait a minute, when I do it to you, I need you to show me the same respect. Is that okay?
Granted.
Okay, go ahead. You see how teaching works? You see
you're telling me. Hold on. So now you're telling me that your daughter doesn't understand that word, yet she came to you and told you that you're not supposed to use said word. So if you're not supposed to use the word, it is then not safe for her to then repeat the word. That is my point. Go ahead. You were saying.
So yes, because when she hears the words, we correct her. Hey, baby, that's not the proper word to use. So now the father, have to do the same thing in real time. I should not be using the word because I teach with how I move. So the same way how I do yoga in the house, you know what my little 3-year-old do? Yoga. When she see me doing push-ups and sit-ups, you know what she's trying to do? Push-ups and pull-ups. When she see me run a marathon, you know what she's trying to do? Run a marathon. I don't have to tell her that. I don't have to teach her. I teach her that through my movement. So if you out here moving a certain way, you cursing in front of your kids, and you saying I curse like a sailor because I can and you can't. I could drink, you can't. I could smoke, you can't. I'm adult, I'm big, you little.
Are these not the rules?
All these things you don't realize you don't realize you are teaching your child because I have the experience of it. I'm telling you I have the experience of it, but you don't want to respect the results. That is fine. Even though people heard my child speak and they could hear how she could communicate.
Right. And like I said,
you can hear how my 3-year-old communicates. She communicates very well. She was very direct with what she was saying. So therefore, when I'm talking to her as well, she's able to take that correction as well. Because you don't even think she was a 3-year-old. Clearly she speaks. You can tell, right? We can tell that you yourself, you don't have any self-control. So that's why you have a hard problem with seeing another little person having so much control to express themselves. You can't even hold yourself
Sir,
together.
you've been bumping your gums nonstop for the last 3 minutes without interjection or clarification on any statements that I'm doing with the
even
lack
though
of
you don't
self-control.
disagree with anything I said just now, you want to jump in and interject
You're
right now because you feel like you need to say something. So now, even though you don't disagree with one word I said, you are not going to dismantle any words that I said, even though I destroyed yours. I destroyed your thought pattern and proved that your way of thinking is wrong. The reason why is because you are still cursing to this day in front of your child, and I am not. That's the difference.
Here's the thing, Sharon. There's the rules.
My name is Sharon, by the way. Black.
Sharon,
sir.
Here's the rules, Sharon. I can drive. My daughter can't. I can drink. I can go purchase and drink liquor. My daughter can't.
Crazy.
I can go purchase and consume tobacco. My daughter can't.
Crazy.
What are you talking about? There are rules in place in society for a reason. So you to sit there and act like, oh, well, because it's just this one. Yes, my daughter must understand. And again, the same way I have to understand, there are rules in society. I have to follow. She got rules in society. She got to follow. So why am I going to start all of a sudden acting like that don't exist because I got to act a certain way? No. She's seen it.
So
she's seen it.
You good?
So therefore, no, because again, before we get off to that point, you went on a whole tirade. So I'm just give me a moment to go on mine, right? You sat there and you're trying to judge my character and tell me who I am. I can't have no self-control. Sir, I sat there and I listened to you. And when I'm asking for clarification, because I like to listen, I want to make sure that before I put words in your mouth, unlike you, before I start judging people on their character and making statements about them, I understand. Hey, before I say something that's not true about you, or I make a statement about you that's not true, let me make sure I'm on the money with what I'm saying. And I'm just looking for clarification. You don't like to give clarification because you like to push narratives. Whatever I say is however it is. Yes, that's what you like to do. You told me, okay, in 24 years, you've never gotten a phone call from anybody in the school district that you live in about your children. I accept. However, my question to you then is this your first instance of dealing with a child and in an instance with foul language, either in your presence or in the presence of the public? Because I'm not in your house. I don't live with you. Perfect. You can use foul language. Hold on, I'm not done yet. You can use foul language, sir. You're an adult. I expect you to. But however, when your child comes into the room, even if she's in the room for a moment, if she's correcting you, she doesn't need to use foul language to correct you. That's why I have an issue. You then tried to push this narrative on me. Well, if a girl, it doesn't matter, bro. Like that, you asked me for my position. I don't like when little children use foul language. Anyone under the age of, let's say, 6 using foul language to me is cringe. You don't like that as a response. Why? What's wrong with my response? All of a sudden, personally, that's the problem. Because I have a personal problem with that. Oh, you can't understand why I would take issue with that. No.
So again, so for me personally, right? I'm not going to teach my children to be scared to voice their opinion outside. So if my child was to say, "Daddy, you can't curse, you can't say the word you just said in public." So in public or private, my child was to curse. I don't give a fuck who's around me. I'm like, you mind your motherfucking business. This is my child. I correct my child. I don't give a fuck if you cringe about it. Grow the fuck up is what I'm going to tell that grown ass person. Stop being worried about the words that the child uses. Understand the context of why that child is using that word. Understand that child has a problem. Understand what is going on. Is it laughter? Do they know what they are saying? Get some context behind why the child is saying something. It shows your self-control once again. I didn't say
your 30-year-old daughter shows way more self-control and more understanding in the situation than you do. She asked you not to use language. Like I said, the only problem I had, she used it once, and in her very next statement after that, I should have used a different word. She already understood. You didn't understand. And that's where I have a problem. So don't come putting your fixation on me because you don't like the way I'm looking at you based on the lens that you presented. I'm not the one who jumped up on YouTube and was like, oh, I'm a presenting show and my child's going to come in here and say something crazy. I didn't know what your daughter was going to do. I don't think that was your intention. But like I said, from my personal perspective, whether you agree or disagree, I feel like you handled it a little bit incorrectly. You can then go off on your tirade, but you don't have to make any assumptions about who I am and what I believe. You don't know me.
I know your words.
That's
I'm not
right.
making it. I'm
That's
making
what.
it.
No, 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 no.
You not finished yet? Again,
Watch
you
me,
cut me
Eddie.
off.
You
Just
don't
know
know
what
me.
happened here. I did not hit the mute
Listen,
button not one
you
time.
ain't
I'm just gonna let you know what
You
happened.
ain't
You say that I'm painting narratives. You cut me off again, showing your inability to have some kind of self-control. Even though I let you go on a tirade on my show, you are in my house, and I never muted you, and I never disrespect you not once. All I'm going by with the words that you are using towards me. That's all I got to go off of right now in this moment. And what I'm saying is that you have a problem with some kind of hierarchy because you feel like if a child says something to you, you are an adult and you are at a higher position than a child. So me, I don't treat children that way. I treat children as growing adults, and they have to learn through the system. And they best tool to learn something is through the parent. And I'm going to teach my children by the way how I move instead of the words that I say. So you could go smoke in front of your child, drink in front of your child, curse in front of your child, and think that your child is going to listen to your words and not your actions. And that's the difference between me and you. You want your child to follow the law, and I want my child to be moral on her own. So this is why we had a conversation not too long ago to bring it all full circle about chivalry. Being chivalrous doesn't have anything to do with the person said thank you or not. It all depends on you and how you was raised as a human being. And that's the difference between me and you and how I raised. How my child is going to be moving through the world with moral code. Your child is only going to do things because of what the law said. And that's going to be the difference of our children. And we're going to see how that pans out. See, my child don't care about what everybody else think is cool. So when they leave, they can still hold on to the moral stand called of my household. That's how I influence my children because I want to move like my daddy. And then when their friends come here, they're like, yo, your dad is cool. That makes them want to move more like their daddy. I don't have to worry about when my child go outside and say if they possibly curse. You said that, not me. I know my child ain't cursing. See, the difference is I give my child freedom to do whatever the fuck they want to do. And as they make decisions, bad decisions, I take that privilege away so they can understand that it's consequences. So I don't drink and smoke in front of my kids. So therefore, you know what they're not doing? None of my children drinking or smoking. So when I go and say, hey, you need to go and work out, you know what they're going to say? When are we doing it? You need to write. They see me write every day. You know what they're doing? They writing. One of my children, she could rap her ass off. She played 3 instruments. All my kids play instruments. At least 2 of them. So don't tell me shit about no goddamn parenting unless you want to get deep dive into it. Because I'm really responsible about this shit. I move up a discipline. Not off of my feelings of how a child's supposed to talk. A child is supposed to challenge their parent. That's how they learn. They're supposed to be safe to say whatever they want to say to you and how they want to say it and express it without any goddamn reprimands about it. That's the fucking difference. And hopefully you learned something today. Stop telling your kids to do as I say instead of do as you do. They're going to follow your movements. If you want your child to walk out your door and hold your black built like a conquering king standard, you're going to have to change your standard. You have to cut your goddamn hair. You're going to have to stop drinking, stop cursing, and hold on to your own goddamn words.
Can I talk now?
And before you talk, I also want to bring in OtisWho podcast, Brownsville, New York. And I also want to run down these super chats as well.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey,
hey. So we got Brownsville, New York. Nobody could publicize. They support the show. Peace and love to the solution-based group family. Shout out to you. Shout out to Unlikely with the 2-ball. Buenos dias to everyone in the chat. Shout out to Natasha Vincent. She gave out 5 solution-based gangster memberships. So that means in 2024, we are moving in the truth. Even if it's against us, that's the only thing we deal with. Even my man, the Conquering King, he's only moving in the truth, moving forward. Shout out to Big J XXX. Wait, I thought the topic was about the Bears, not dating and relationships. We're not even talking about dating or relationships right now. We got sidetracked because me and Black, we just have a little small disagreement about parenting, even though if we was to have a full conversation about parenting, we probably agree on 90%. We just disagree on the way how one situation in real time was pushed out. And that's all we are doing as fathers, that respect each other as fathers, and we just have a little small disagreement, and we challenging each other's thoughts is what is going on right now. Big J, shout out to Rogue C. Oh, he's one. Perfect. He is one of the law say so versus the actual morals telling him make sense. Man, I just said this. Great point. Great point. Thank y'all all.
Wow. This is a touchy conversation, man.
It is because it's very nuanced. It's very little. So I appreciate for Black for having the conversation. I really appreciate it because we are having a respectful conversation, and he is passionate about this conversation. So I appreciate it. We're gonna bring OtisWho in it and Brownsville, New York. Go ahead.
Hey, what's going on? A peace to the panel and peace to the
Can't
chat.
hear you, OG.
Great being here. Great being
On
here.
mute.
No, you good. I can hear him.
Oh, okay, I'm good. Okay.
Yeah. You can hear him?
I can't hear him.
Yo, I can hear you good, Otis.
I can hear him. I can hear him. He good.
Okay, good. Okay. Real quick. This conversation is very tricky. I'm gonna be what you call, I like the phrase, a switchback, whatever, because
Switch
it's one
spirit.
of the situations where I know he's a great father. He
Yes.
meaning him being Black, built like a conquering king. I know he is. I agree with him to a certain extent. But if I had to pick one, I'm not gonna lie, I reared my child more on your way, Sharon, versus what Black does. Now, for the record, that's why that phrase, you need to be evenly yoked with your spouse, because my wife, and I'm not talking about her, she's upstairs, she would agree with Black. Because we be out in public, a child would use a profound word, and my wife, being my wife, was like, oh, if she was in my house, I'd spank her. And I would be like, why would you do that? She's a child. You don't understand so I understand. I promise you I do. But it's a nuance. That's why I don't judge nobody's house. I would never have this conversation with nobody because it's tricky. But I get it. I'm glad we're having it, but I can see both sides. But I'm leaning more, if I had to choose one, more of your side. But in some situations, let me say this. In some situations, Black is correct. It is do as I say, not as I do. In some situations. But I'll land my plane there.
Awesome. Perfect. Beautiful. Go ahead. Brownsville, New York. PhD, and then Lee. He changed his name.
Yo, peace and love, man. Peace and love to the queen on the panel. Shout out to PhD with a supreme goddess. Peace and love to the kings, Black, Otis, Lee, and Cuzzo. This is an interesting conversation, and what it boils down to me is about accountability, right? And Black, I agree when it comes to profane language. You know what I'm saying? But here's my stance on it. I believe that anyone using profane language is showing ignorance, right? So since I believe that using profane language is a form of ignorance, I don't put an age to it, right? So if something is ignorant for a 3-year-old to do, then it's certainly ignorant for a 43-year-old to do that exact same thing, right? So that's why in my life, I try to never even use profane language, just period. Not on YouTube, not in person, not in front of my kids, not in front of my wife, not in front of anyone, because I believe that it's a form of ignorance. Now, also, when it comes to accountability, I believe that accountability should absolutely go both ways. Should go top to bottom and bottom to top, right? So I believe as a man, I should be held accountable. I believe as a husband, which I am, I should be held accountable. And I believe as a father, I should be held accountable, right? So it shouldn't be a do as I say, not as I do type of leadership, right? Because I believe that that's a form of hypocritical leadership. You know what I'm saying? Because what you're basically expressing is that you don't have a problem as a leader of holding someone else accountable, but your issue comes in when others try to hold you accountable, right? So I invite anyone to hold me to accountability if I'm moving in an incorrect fashion, right? I invite that because I believe that's what makes us grow. And I believe as beings on this earth, we're constantly every day in a growth process, right? And we have to be willing to learn and grow each and every day. So whether it's my child who says, hey, daddy, you said something wrong, you did something wrong. Yes, they need to hold me accountable. Whether it's my wife, whether it's anyone who sees me, hey, man, you did something wrong here. You know, I'm going to listen and I'm going to hear them and I'm going to try to correct my actions, right? And that is the problem that I have with what you were saying, Black, is it was like a one-way form of accountability that you was professing, right? Then another thing I kind of disagreed with you on, Black, was when you mentioned Sharon and correcting his daughter, and you disagreed with the way he corrected his daughter. But what you said was that is the reason why women are acting the way they're acting today, right? So I want to get some clarification on that, right? Because at that point, you turned it into like a gender specific conversation. You said that the way he's correcting his child or incorrectly disciplining his child, and that has a cause and effect to how women are acting in today's day and age. So before I give a comment on that, I would like some insight on what you meant by that.
You don't mind me giving a quick response. So my issue with that is, again, at what point do most children get introduced to a male head figure? Barring Sharon's current situation, as he's married, he has children, he takes care of them. Most men who are, or most children who are raised in America are raised in single mother households. So when is their introduction to an actual man and a man actually speaking to them like they're one, human beings, not adults, not children, but human beings, and they have to have a certain level of understanding. I must meet you at that certain level of understanding, but I still require that certain level of understanding. And back to you, Bronson. Sorry, I don't mean to be disrespectful, but when you said that, I was having an issue with the way women were being treated in society, yes, because again, it's very soft. And if the world is as hard as we claim it is, then it must be. If you're a man, your accountability is one way. Everyone comes to you for everything. You can't go to anyone else for everything. That's pretty much it, right? Am I mistaken in that understanding or assessment? As a man, accountability all falls on you. You don't get to go to somebody else and say this is your fault. You don't get to go to somebody else and say this is your responsibility. You get to stand tall and say, hey, some way, somehow, I'm responsible for this thing. Maybe that's the mortgage, the roof over your head, the hospital bills, the dentist bills, whatever that comes up for you and your children, and your wife and your children, you are responsible. So therefore, if it's all one way accountability, then it must be this: do as I say, not as I do. Because the things I have to do to own that accountability, which is go out there and slave and work hard and bust my ass and sacrifice and give up the things that I want, being selfish, then yes, it must be one way accountability. Because now, in order for me to give you certain things, I need you to do certain things in return. I can't take the kids to soccer practice. I have to go work. I have to go make this extra money. You got to get up in the morning, put your big girl pants on, get in the car, and drop them to soccer practice and pick them up, because I'm going to be out here working to make this extra money. Don't throw extra responsibilities or unnecessary requests if you can't seem to work with me. And again, as a man, I tell my daughter what it is, what I need from what I don't need from her. I don't need you to use foul language because it won't get you far as a woman. As a man, it was almost a requirement. When I joined the military, it was a requirement. You want to get stuff done? Don't come talking that soft language of, oh, I need and please and thank you. Some people might respond well to that, but the vast majority going to look at you like, I'm not doing nothing. He say he's going to have to wait. He's going to push him to the back. He can wait 20 minutes. He can wait 30 minutes. When you got to get going now. So I'm just going to be direct. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to lie about it. I have curbed my use of the foul language, but I still use it. And understand that my reason for using it is not going to be your reason for using it. And while I'm not saying that you can't use it, and I won't be there every given moment in time in your life to police your language, hey, just be careful about how you use it.
So Black, you didn't answer my question.
Not at all.
Sorry, but, go ahead, Bronco. Let me answer your question directly. I'm sorry, my apologies. Go ahead.
Right. So now I have two questions. One, do you believe the usage of profane language from anyone is a form of ignorance? And then
No,
my second,
that's your stance. I don't believe that stance.
okay. So my second question is, do you believe accountability is gender specific? Because your words, what you said
Apparently, it
was,
is. Yes.
okay, so you believe that. Expand on that. Expand on
Uh,
accountability being gender specific.
Okay. I have an issue with my mother's daughter, right? So my whole life isn't panning out the way I planned it or what my master plan had wanted to be. I have an issue with this lady. When I go to court, I'm held accountable even when she is the one acting up and doing things outside of what we would consider to be normal human behavior. When she assaulted me at the police station, I was held accountable. I went in the cell. Where was her accountability?
What?
This is I
So,
went. Yes, she
let's get an
assaulted me.
understanding.
She assaulted me at a police precinct, and when I was assaulted, the police came out and put me in handcuffs and put me on. Even though on camera it shows her
Nah,
physically,
that's
like you
Go
can't.
ahead.
So
Let him
accountability
get it
is
out,
one
Lee.
way as far as I'm
Lee, let him get
concerned.
it out. Let him tie his
Can I
own
ask
rope.
you, can I ask you one question?
Accountability.
Are you wearing
Like I
two?
said,
Are you wearing two?
you're asking.
Sir, are you wearing two hoodies
No, I got on one hoodie. This is it got
right
gray
now?
on the
I
inside.
just yes or no. I just need a yes or no.
He said no, it's one hoodie. Lee, let him get it out.
All
Let
right,
him get
man, I
his
just
full
wanted to
story
make
out so we can get some
All right.
understanding to why he feels so strongly about it. Because now we peel. So this is how the onions get peeled back
Accountability is
sometimes.
one way.
So
You
go
can, you
ahead.
asked me a question.
Go ahead.
You
No,
asked me the
he
question. Is
interrupted. Go
accountability
ahead.
one way? So I'm answering this question.
Yes,
And
I was
to me,
I
from
was
my
giving you.
perspective, yes.
I'm giving you the room to answer because you got
Go ahead.
interrupted. Go ahead. No, I was giving you the room because you got interrupted. So go ahead.
I was done. I was done. Like again, my hoodie is one hoodie. It's just a very light hoodie.
Don't worry about that. He was just.
Yes, I do believe that accountability is a one-way street where the sexes are concerned. It only falls on men, even through the judicial system, through societal standards, through every standard or metric you can think of. As a man, it all falls on you. If you can prove me wrong, you find anywhere in the law where I'm wrong, then I'd appreciate it. I
Can
will
I ask
sit
you
here
a
and I'll
question?
humbly tap out.
Can I ask you a
And so before Lee asks you a question again, this is why we have different parenting styles, because you believe that the law is holding people accountable, and I want morals to hold my children accountable, and that's the difference. And that's why you wanted me to hold my daughter at a high standard, because you feel like women are running rampant because you was in yourself in a very stressful situation where this woman that you was encountering at one point, I guess she probably had she was understanding and she was cooperating with you, and now she's not cooperating with you, and now you deem that as her being mouthy or disrespectful or no accountability. And so now you put that whole situation in saying that the reason why that happened is because I'm giving my daughter autonomy of her own thoughts and patterns. And you look at it like, hey, even though I had a baby with this woman, at one point she was very cooperative. And now that she's not cooperative, now you have an issue. But you didn't have an issue with that woman when you was laying down, putting that pipe in her butt naked and busting nuts in her.
The issue I'm having again is where the law gave her too much autonomy. I didn't care that they gave her autonomy. Listen, in the beginning, I was moral. My daughter should spend 50% of her time with her mother because, again, that is her mother. She will never get another one. She has a father. She will never get another one. We are still alive. Let her spend time with me. Let her spend time with you. Instead, for a year and a half, I got alienated from mine. So you must tell me, how am I supposed to feel? Not seeing, I mean, you can't tell me you're not gonna feel no type of way. You looking for your child and you can't find her for a year and a half. And it's not like I didn't know where she was, but upholding the law and the TPO and all the other nonsense can't be in the mix. So I stayed back.
This is what I would tell you. This is what I would tell every man that ever went through what you did. It's a lesson that needs to be learned. First lesson you learn is that you need to be married before you have a kid, because then she cannot do that to you. That's number one.
When
you have a child out of wedlock, the woman automatically, y'all men give the rights to the woman. Y'all don't realize that's what happens.
I learned in that
Number one is that y'all leave. So number one, if y'all live in the same household and you're not married, once you leave the household, you already give the woman parental rights to the child. That's number one mistake that most women. I'm not saying that's your position, but I'm just want to teach a greater lesson to what your situation is, because a lot of men go through it. So when you are married, both of y'all have 50% rights, but when you are not married and you leave the house, you give the rights to the woman. That's number two. And number three, you go to court and you fight by being, I want to just be with my child. Do not throw in an homonym saying that she's a bad human being, she's a bad parent, she's a bad mother, because the first thing that you said is that she was doing things that society deemed as unfit. And that's the thing that most men go into these court sessions, and that's what they say. Instead of just talking about what is, they want to attack the woman. Y'all want your woman, y'all want your baby mothers to
attack the argument. The point that you choose to listen is like me.
It's not towards you. I'm talking to a greater audience. It's not just towards you.
Keep telling them that.
Yeah, I told him that 3 times, but he has a listening problem, and it's okay.
I didn't hear you.
We're gonna mind through it, so maybe he'll understand that. He'll start to recognize that he doesn't listen as much as he think he does. So we can learn that together. So that's okay. Sometimes we do because he's upset about a certain situation that happened to him, and that's fine.
The same way I gotta learn to listen, the same way you gotta learn to stop changing narratives, and it would be good.
Okay, so if you think that hey Otis, do you think I changed the narrative just now?
Man, don't put. I just
asked the question because we all in real time.
Otis, I ain't dragging you into it, Otis. I ain't bringing you into it.
You into that.
You ain't gotta answer that.
I'm not. Don't put me in that. Y'all keep listen. Don't put me in that. Go ahead. Keep
You
talking.
ain't gotta answer that. We all know it's cool.
Yeah,
You ain't gotta say that.
You good. You no disrespect, no BS. You good at what you do, but you are. But for the record,
I'm just assessing the situation.
What he's doing, Black? Because I had to learn the same way. He's holding you accountable for your words.
Correct.
That's all he's doing.
Hear
me out. In my opinion, hear me out. Because trust me, I'm hearing you. Trust me, I'm hearing you. I agree with you to a certain extent. I'm hearing both sides. I ain't got no dog in this fight. I'm hearing you, and I can feel and understand. I learned the difference in them words. I get you. Some of your examples are coming from personal strife that I hate you went through, and you're making that influence your stance. And I understand that. Exactly. I could tell the difference. I promise I can. But I do agree with some of what you're saying. Not all of it. And that's all I'm gonna say. I'm gonna land my plane. But don't
I want to bring PH Diva in there, and then Lee Unlikely is going to attack. So we'll go PH Diva first, and then we're gonna let Unlikely say some words.
Okay. How you doing, Black? How everybody? Sharon?
How are you, PH Diva?
What's up?
Peace and love.
How are you, Otis? Brownsville, always a pleasure. So I was just wondering, Black, what's your background, if you don't mind telling us?
I'm West Indian. I'm from the Caribbean.
Which country?
Dominica. That same flag that you see.
Oh, I didn't see a flag. I can't see a flag from where I am. Okay. I actually went to grad school with a girl from Dominica. That was the only person from there I ever met. And you said you're in the military?
I was. I retired a long time ago.
Oh, okay. Were you enlisted or officer?
Yeah. Active duty enlisted.
Oh, okay. Okay. So I think, okay, you mentioned you had some issues with your child's mother or whatever, but I think there's also a cultural component to this as well. Men in the Caribbean tend to be more, what's the word? Like there's, I think there are more defined roles in terms of gender. Am I correct?
Yes.
Right. And so I think that's where some of this is coming from as well. So that's, just kind of interesting. But what I would say is, so here women are out working, almost just as much as men, right? And so I think it's a different dynamic in terms of when you mentioned that, like, you're the one that has to, all the responsibility falls on. In this society, that's, not really the case, right? Women are out there earning as much, sometimes more than men. And that's why we have the conversation about 50-50 so much, right? Because women do have our own resources. And so it kind of lightens the burden for men. So there isn't as much of a need for men to, take everything on their shoulders.
Hey, PhD, but all you gotta do is ask them this: was you taking care of 100% of your bills from your baby mother at the time?
Yes.
Was y'all married?
No. She was pregnant. Like, what was I supposed to do? Leave her in the street?
No.
And was she working?
No, not when she was pregnant.
No, I'm saying during the relationship, was she working?
Not in the first year. Like I'll say, like the first like 8 months or so. After that, she was on her grind, and then she got pregnant, had to stop, and then when she was done with her pregnancy, she started working full time.
Oh, so the only reason why she didn't work is because she was pregnant.
Yeah, that was it.
That's the problem. Go ahead, Dio. So that's what happened. He talking all this. He take care of everything 100%. He's not really taking things. You're not taking care of things 100%.
Again, you making undefined statements. You asked me if I was taking care of 100% of the bills. I was. Was she working? No. I'm very succinct with the answers.
Yeah,
You
but
can't then
as we peel the onion back,
she
she wasn't working because she was pregnant. That's a difference.
Yes, and that's the only thing you asked me.
You wasn't where for an extended period of time, and you was where y'all got together early.
When we got together, listen, when we got together, like I said, she wasn't working for like the first 8 months.
Got pregnant early in the relationship, and then now that she's bucking back because
you're not asking for no clarifications. You're making a bunch of assumptions. She didn't work for the first 8 months of our relationship. Then she got working at a pizza store doing like remedial stuff at the cashier's desk. Like what money is that? That money's for her. I didn't want none of her cash. Then when she got pregnant, I took care of everything. Sit up. What are you supposed to be doing? Waiting for this baby to pop. So again, don't sit there and try to make judgments about me like you know what the fuck going on. You don't know what's going on. Once the child came, hold on. Once the child came, things changed. There were circumstances that changed. You don't know what those circumstances are. You would like to know the circumstances. Say that, but don't make any assumptions about my character, about what motives or what I did during that time frame. You weren't fucking there. So again,
what I'm telling you is by the words that you're using, by the words, because see, like we act like when people use words that we cannot have an understanding of what's going on in the world. Because I'm a man.
It's one thing when you're talking about me. It's another thing when you're talking about in general. You're talking about me directly.
Human beings.
You wouldn't say.
Okay, you got to talk.
Ask for clarification, and I will give it to you. But don't make any conclusions about me.
Okay, you can correct me. You could correct me after I'm done. That is perfectly fine. If you want to make some clarifications,
I would rather you not make the assessment in the first place if you don't know it to be true. If you know for sure, then if you don't know, ask. I will give you clarification, but don't make any assessments talking about me like you don't know me. You don't know what was going on. You weren't there.
Again, I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything differently from what you said. The first 8 months. Y'all got pregnant very quick in the relationship. You wasn't taking care of things like how you think you was taking care of them. And it's fine because a lot of men get confused. They think that they are taking care of things 100% like how to do it. But since she was looking for a goddamn job, things was not being taken care of the way how you think they was actually being taken care of. And that is fine.
There go a dude that thinking no. So in the middle of the pregnancy, right after my daughter was born, I lost my job due to circumstances. Now you mad at me coming in now because I had to go through a search. Bro, again, you're a man. You went through your ups and downs. You didn't want anybody to come judge you while you were making the plans to put shit back into place. So don't come making statements about me that you weren't there to be about. Again, fam, like you keep making these statements. You're trying to tell me I have an issue with authority.
Learn brevity as well, though. So just learn brevity so we could, because I got, you don't have to reiterate it. I understand you. So again, what I'm saying is this: my ideology of what you went through is spot on. I did not miss so far what my assessment is. It did not miss. That's the problem that you have. It was not wrong. The problem is,
where did your assessment not miss?
Why? I explained to you why. So again, when I said that you was not taking care of the way how you was, and then as the onions peeling back, all of a sudden now you lose your job. Now she's scared. Now she's moving in scarcity. So now things change. It is okay because I'm a man, so I understand what you went through. I'm not trying to deny what you went through and try to say that she didn't have a switch spirit on your ass. I'm not saying that. But what I am saying is that things progress a certain way, and the way how you are explaining things, I can see the progression already. And you don't have to go through all those words.
Again, there you go making assessments about me that you don't know. You are not sure. So all these things are just whims. You may as well take them and throw them in the trash. Do you have any facts or evidence to back up your claim, or are you just going based on what you think? Because if we can go on based on what we think, I think your daughter is going to turn out to be a great human being, despite her father being a retard. But that would be a wrong assessment to make, now wouldn't it? Since you are a well-educated human being.
So this is how
assessments and stop making claims about me that you don't know. Ask.
Again,
I would require that you ask. Otherwise, we can dead this conversation. You don't have to speak to me because again, I would rather somebody not make assessments about me that they don't know make assumptions about me that they don't know, than to sit there and be like, oh yeah, I know about you. Don't know about me, fam. Don't say that because I don't know about you. I came up
You
here
must have
and I
been
told you what
okay.
it was.
You're right. You don't have to
Can
reiterate.
I ask a question?
You must
Wait,
have been
hold
born.
on,
You must
Tony.
have
I
been born
wasn't
in
even
December.
finished.
God damn it! You had to be a December baby.
All right, what's your?
Okay,
I didn't understand my business.
Black.
So
Again, you
again,
don't.
I didn't insult you not one time through this situation, and that
Yes,
shows
you have
that what I'm
because
saying
you
is
tried to tell me who I am and you
hitting you a
don't
little
know
bit.
me. That is insulting.
Brother. Listen, again, today, one thing that you need to learn how to do is this.
Oh, come on.
Did he rage quit? Did I get another rage quitter?
No, because I wanted to find out if his child's mother was from the Caribbean or was she from here.
Damn.
He left.
Yes,
I think so.
quit.
But hey, if you're still listening, you could please come back. I didn't want to get you upset to the point where you rage quit. I apologize for making you feel what's the word I need to misunderstood, because you wasn't misunderstood. The problem is I understand who you are and what your plight is 100%. The problem is you mad that I see you. That's the real problem.
I hope he come back because you could tell he got there because his whole accent, this whole country came out of him. His whole dialect changed. He went from American to that straight native country that he originally is from because it got thick as hell. So you could tell he was serious about what he was saying. I just felt bad.
I just want to say, listen, we are not against you over here, but we are just irritated. Yes, I'm sorry that I irritated you to the point where you cannot explain yourself. The only problem is that you're not correcting yourself in real time. A lot of times we let you go on your soliloquies and say things and nobody interrupt you. And as soon as I say 2 words, you jumped in right away instead of letting a person speak. Because if you allow it, I might be ignorant, but I want you to have the space to please express yourself. But you got to learn a little bit, brother, because is a bunch of us hanging out talking. So Black built like a conquering king. You are always welcome to be here. I understand that I irritated you. It was not out of malice. So I apologize for aggravating you to that point where you feel like you had to click the button. So I apologize for that. However, my stance on what I assessed from the words that you used were not incorrect, because as the onion started to peel back after I said something, you go ahead and reiterate what I just said about you. And the reason why I know that is because I'm a man, so I could understand. I could see far down the road. I don't have to wait for you to say the whole life story. You could give me 3, 5, 10 words and I understood it right away. And that's the real reason why you jumped up and said in the first place that this is why women act the way how they act, because you don't want women to have autonomy for themselves and assess situations. And the woman that you was with, she assessed the situation that you was not going to get them out of that living situation. And then now you mad at her because she made an assessment. That's what happened.
And that's right there is why he's upset with you, because he could speak for himself, but based on that assessment, which may be true, I don't know, but based on your assessment and your assertion of that assessment as it's a non-rebuttal fact that you're making, I could see where he would take that and run off.
So the only reason why he's upset is because he didn't get to tell me his shortcomings. He's mad that I was able to see his shortcomings before he told me. That's the real thing that he's upset about.
All right, Sharon. How you gonna tell the man the shortcomings?
Yeah, that sounds like an assumption.
No, so here's the thing. Here's the thing, Tony. The problem is that after I said it, right, he then goes and say, well, I lost my job. Right after I said you was not taking care of things the way how you think you was, right after that, he confirms what I said. The problem is that he thinks that he needs to say it for me to see it. That's the issue.
But I would have dove in deeper. How long was he without a job? You know what I'm saying? It would have been, did the shit happen? He was out of job for 2 months, a year? Like, what was the time frame? A little more context, you could have made a more sounder judgment. That's why I said it sounds like you're assuming.
So listen, I could assume all I want. All we know, those walls was bare. We know that. We know those words was beige. We know that.
man. I see. I see.
Hey, Black, come up here, Black. Come back,
Wait,
bro.
I'm not even going there. I see.
Gerard, I'm
Come on,
laughing
Gerard.
because I saw the same thing. I saw the same thing.
Come on, y'all. Yeah. Oh, okay, I'm not even going there.
No, it's just you can pick up
Let it
on
go, oh. Let it go.
some things by
I
a
am.
person's surroundings, right?
Yes. I mean,
Yeah, you can. And that was like when he first came up, before I even came up, that was one of the first things I noticed. Like, okay, low ceilings, bare walls, beige, you know. No.
It is what it is, but people don't want us to see them. I understand. Listen, it's okay. Whoever you are, take that fucking mask off and be that man that you need to be, because that's real accountability. That's how you get yourself up out of the situation that you in. And then maybe you won't have bare walls, and maybe you could touch the inside of some fucking walls.
Uh-oh.
So don't get mad at me. I ain't do it.
Right, and men don't run from the conversation. Otis, you know this. You never ran as much as you've been in a headlock on this panel.
Don't say it.
Never
I
once
knew you was
ran
gonna go
from the
there.
conversation. Ever. You here every day, and you come right back 10 toes down, and I give you a lot of credit and respect for that, Otis, because that shows that you're a real man, right? You don't run away from accountability. You don't run away from questions. You continue to press on to the mark of the high calling, even throughout all of your wrongs.
And also, you know what else we all noticed as well, Otis, is that he wasn't able to answer questions direct was an issue as well.
Yeah, I mean, again.
So you know what I'm saying? So I'm assessing the whole thing. It's not you just wanted to say what you want to say. You didn't want to actually have the real conversation. And I could tell by because the way how you communicate with us, you probably communicate the same way in your life, and that is where you running in your problem. Instead of assessing it and saying like, look, me and Otis, sometimes me and her have communication problems with each other, but after that, we reassess ourselves and we have better communication every single time that we speak to each other. We getting better at communicating our points, especially when our points are opposing each other. We getting better at communicating with it. So not only me and him can understand, but also the audience can understand as well. And so the problem is that he was not willing to accept the fact that I'm a better communicator than him and acquiesce to it and say, you know what? I want to be a conquering king, but before I be a conquering king, I need to follow a king first.
Wow, now see,
what the fuck?
Exactly. He always go too far. He always go too far.
You did too much, bro.
But he
Tony,
does that.
why did I go too far?
That's what they do.
Let me drop the link for my man Black King. I think he calmed down a little bit and he's willing to come back.
Yeah, he's coming back.
I appreciate
come
you.
Back, Black.
Built like a king. Before we get into the actual conversation, but I think it was a good build. Hopefully he can get something out of it. Hopefully he'll watch it back and he'll see his communication skills was not as good as he think it is, and that he was dodging questions instead of answering them direct. He had to have a story behind a question, especially a yes or no question. And
but
so
for the
maybe,
record, he pushed back on you sometimes and you didn't respond back. For the record. But again, because I ain't got no dog in the fight. You good at it. You good at avoiding and evading questions. For the record.
damn.
So I will give him this point.
And I want to say this.
Don't provoke me to anger, or else you'll be in danger.
It's back. Built like a conquering king. Good day, sir. Welcome back to the show. Hopefully you're not too mad at me, and hopefully we can just have a conversation.
Oh, like I said, I was never mad at you. My issue with you is you trying to paint me into some narrative that you think that you know. You don't know me. Right. You might have an understanding based on what you heard, but you don't know the full context of the story. So therefore, before you jump to a conclusion about who I am, watch your mouth. Because you wouldn't like me doing the exact same thing to you. I didn't make any disparaging comments about you. I never said I know who your character or any of that. And the walls behind me are white because I'm sitting in an office right now. And unfortunately, I can't show you my work computer because what's on there is not for your eyes.
So you're wrong about your assessment. I'll tell you why you're wrong about your assessment. I'll tell you why you
again. Are you didn't call me back up here to berate me, did you?
I tell you why. I'm gonna tell you why you're wrong about your assessment. You are wrong about your assessment because you don't think you attacked me. I just allowed it to go over the head. So when you
what did I say that attacked you? What was the attack?
Y'all want to do a
You said
breathing exercise?
So
he needs
again,
to do breathing. You can't say
damn,
things
you
and then
No,
not
no,
listen.
you.
See, this is bad. This is
what they're
bad
saying.
communication. You
Yeah, but
asked me
that's
a
why y'all need
question.
to do a
Let
breathing
me answer.
exercise. Y'all really do.
Woosah. So when you said this is the reason why women act the way how they act unruly is the way how you raising your daughter to speak up for herself is when you first attacked me. And you don't even
I
realize.
never judged that your daughter spoke up for herself. Like I said, I applaud your daughter for saying something to you about what was the context of the conversation. The issue I have, like I mentioned
Again,
many a
hold
time
on.
before,
Before you move
before
forward,
you cut me off,
before you move forward,
then
again,
I'm the one who can't listen.
you're not listening. So that's the problem because you just talking about what you want to talk about. Again, when you said the reason why women are acting unruly is because the way how I'm raising my daughter. That was the first attack. If you can't acknowledge that, and then we
I
can
will
just
acknowledge that when you acknowledge that your statement about me was the first thing you did was attack me when you said that, oh, I disagree. I just disagreed with you with the statement. Like I said, I talk shit to you with obligatory. I talk about your forehead. Every chat panel you ever seen me on, I got, yeah, you got a 5 head. I got a joke every time I see you, bro. Your hairline on the retreat.
Wait
You know
a
what I'm saying?
minute, sir.
Proceed all the way on out, you know what I'm saying, off the battlefield. You might as well go ahead and bick it and call it a day.
Where's the lie? You're right. Keep going.
Yeah,
Then
but we got to
every
stand
time
in
I
front
see,
of a
but
mirror too.
other than that, whenever you say you on these panels and you say the things that you say, I don't judge or question what you have to say. However, today I saw something and I felt the need to say something. I said something in chat. You could have easily ignored my statement and moved on with your life, like, all right, this guy don't know what he's talking about. But you said if you feel like you can explain, I came up. And like I said, I explained to you what your daughter said was not my issue. Her speaking up for herself, I applauded it. The issue I had was her use of the language after the
can I
fact.
stop you
Then
right
you
there?
went into some,
Can I
wait a
jump in right
minute
there,
now.
please? Can I jump in
This
right there, please?
yeah, fam, I'm trying to explain the
Sharon, they want to
situation
do a
before I
poll.
can
You're
I
explaining
can do
something.
my thing. They want me
Problem
off the
black.
panel because I'll bounce, fam. I don't got time for retarded
Can I?
conversations.
The problem is you're not addressing what I'm talking about. You're
Hold
I
talking
am
on,
about
going to address
Sharon.
what you're talking about, but let me
you're
finish.
taking too
You
much.
went on your time.
Wait,
Give me
let me
2
say
seconds.
something.
Let me
Hold
see.
Sharon,
on. The problem is,
Go
I
ahead.
got the kids, Diva. So the problem is, I'm giving you more than 2 seconds, and you're going off. You're not going by what I'm trying to have a conversation
You
about.
want
You're
the
going
right
by what
answer
you
to
want to
me?
do.
Ask me a direct question. What do you want to
oh
know?
my gosh.
What do you want?
Sharon, the ladies in the chat want to do a poll. Who look better, you or black built like a
It's not about the look. It's about the hairline. My hairline is
Oh
Okay,
my
well,
listen.
God.
no, sir. I could tell you was Caribbean by your hairline, sir. I'm gonna tell you that. That's why I
Oh
asked.
my God.
I never deny my West Indian heritage.
No,
You
no,
know, I
no. But
was
I'm saying I
born
was
in West
able to
Indies, was
see it
dying
with
in
your
West Indies. I was like,
hairline. Y'all be having like different hairlines. But then I did want to ask: is your child's mother from the Caribbean or from the United States?
hell, as far as I can say, you consider Puerto Rican women, you have to ask a Puerto Rican what they
Ah,
consider
okay, okay,
themselves.
okay.
I don't know.
And the plot
Boy,
thickens.
It
they not sure.
does.
They're
See, if
very
y'all
clearly
let me
not sure
talk.
the U.S. in the business.
Okay, okay. So okay. And so you did mention something about women acting the way we do, or how it's soft on women. Do you think that women should have it harder?
Yes. If you want to
Oh,
complain about if you want
wow.
equality and you want all these other things, then yes, in order to get equality, things must get a little bit rougher. Things will get rougher for men as well, but it'll be rough all around. Who cares?
And
We breathe in roughness, so there's not a change for men, but it will be a definitive change that hopefully corrects some actions for women.
okay, so can you kind of elaborate on that? So in what way would it be like rougher for women, and how would that change the behavior from the way you see it?
Men would be unwilling to put up with if men were unwilling to put up with certain conversations, certain actions by women, certain demeanors by women, then all of this, oh, he's just gonna pay my bills, he's in my phone as food, none of this stuff would be happening. Because the minute you understand who you are, you would be a man and walk away. Be damned if she's fine as a dime or if she's gonna be ugly as a sin. It doesn't matter. You just walk off. You say, you know what? I don't feel like my title should be food or my register in life should be, oh, I'm here to feed a woman that wants to be fed or pay a bill that needs to be paid. I have to do that for myself. Again, it's just different views. You don't have to agree with my point of view. It's fine. Like I said,
Oh
I
no,
don't
I'm not
expect.
agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just trying to find out, what you were saying and what you meant by what you were saying. Okay, so
Right.
am I hearing you correct when you were saying that if men were more principled and able to create and enforce boundaries with women, then that would force a change in women's behavior.
I would hope so. And if
Okay.
it doesn't, then what do? You move forward. What's the next plan?
And so what is keeping men from being more principled and creating and enforcing those boundaries with women?
You're asking the wrong kind of person. I'm not sure. I don't really have that issue.
Well, you just said you was having trouble with your own child's
Yeah,
behavior.
I have a problem with a woman who believes that she can tell me what to do, and I've shown her, and I'm continuing to show her that that is not the case. Not even the courts can step in and do anything with me. I'm not concerned.
Wow.
I'm still raising my daughter on my terms. It no longer matters what you want or what you have to say. And yeah, the courts are going to listen to you. They send me the notifications in the mail. I show up at the courthouse every single time. Yeah, what do y'all want today?
Okay. And so you
That's not on your own terms, by the way.
No, but I'm still raising I get my daughter every other week. Who do you mean it's not on my own terms? I raise her the way I want to raise her. I switch weeks when I want to switch weeks. I'd like my child.
So you wanted the courts involved in your child?
She brought the courts. I didn't want the courts involved at all. If
So
she
that's why
wanted,
he's
so
saying
then
it's not
it
your
wasn't
own
on my terms. So again, I never said I was in full control. Again, you trying to again? You think I get to tell my daughter for the rest of her life when she gets to sleep, eat, and shit? No, she gets to do that on her own terms. The same way her mother gets to go and sleep and work at whatever company and be a free an adult in this country. Go ahead, but don't come back and tell me, oh, it's not on your terms. Yes, I don't control everybody else. I'm managing the things that I can control, so those things are on my terms.
Well, what you should have controlled is who you put your goddamn penis in instead of trying to put it in some.
Yes, I should have, and I will not deny that statement. What are you trying to like? You're saying that means nothing. I agree with you. I should have controlled who I was putting my penis. I should have managed who I was having a child with better.
So therefore, don't blame it on women being able to express themselves as the reason why you're going through. The reason why women are moving the way how they moving is because women don't have no goddamn responsibilities and nobody's holding women accountable. No, you need to hold your damn self accountable. Stop blaming it on somebody else.
Sir,
That is the problem.
So my question
what do you mean is the problem? So me holding myself accountable. Me holding myself accountable is the problem. Me saying that the issue was me, that I had some problems in that situation, I should have controlled better. That's the problem, according to you.
Yes, once you admit that, that's the first step.
So wait a minute. So I'm on my path, doing my thing to correct my situation and managing it my way. You're telling me that I'm doing it wrong, that I should do it whose way? Your way?
No, the correct way, not my way.
Well, apparently you have the right way. So you talk. What's the right way? Apparently your way, right?
So the right way is to have self-reflection and change things.
I have self-reflection. I have already admitted that I had my wrongs, and I am now taking the steps to correct those wrongs. There is nothing else
that you need to learn how to do. One of the first things you need to learn how to do is understand other people and listen more than you talk.
Yes, you should take that same lesson as well.
I've done that already.
Oh, I haven't seen an example of it. I'm sorry.
I showed you about 24 years of raising kids that graduated high school a year early, went to college early, having four children, 2 grandkids, house other fucking homeless people, put other people in the positions to raise, started my own business, employing young men. That's how.
And all of this,
now that you got the whole understanding, because
all of this is now new information. So again, how do you expect me to know it just prior to
you don't listen? You don't listen. I told you in real time. You don't listen, but you don't want to take that little bit of stuff.
I'm an accomplished father of 25 years with businesses, and I hire young black men. I heard everything you said, but I'm telling you, this is new information to me. How am I supposed to? You not want to give me 2 seconds to process the information, but you expect me to be like, oh, well, this is all the glory. I should take this and run to the hilltops and tell it to everybody. Nah, bro, I don't know you.
Absolutely.
This is new information. Give me a second to process if I believe what it is that you're saying. I don't know you.
So therefore, stop talking and listen to process.
I'm listening, but you can't sit there and be like, oh, well, you're an asshole because you didn't hear me say it the first time and you didn't believe me the first time. I don't believe you. I don't know you.
So again,
you're just a guy on YouTube the same way I'm a guy on YouTube. I don't know you. So again, before you ask me to start believing all this shit, give me a second to process and see if the person is on the screen talking to me matches the identity that they're giving me. I don't know. So you could be a full-on liar, bro. This is the internet. I don't know you. The same way I could be up here sitting up lying. You don't know me. I'm asking you to give me a second to process the information and ask some clarifying questions.
So one thing you need to learn how to do is not reiterate the same thing 3 times in a row.
Apparently you ain't hear me. Apparently you're not hearing me, so I have to. Sure. If you heard me the first time, I wouldn't have to say it twice. So go ahead.
Again, I just gave you a term, right? I said learn how to listen before you speak, right? You didn't give yourself 2 seconds to process anything I said just now. Give yourself some time to process it. Listen, I understand. I process information very quickly. This is what I do. I deal with young men all the time. You talking this again in real time. You are not self-reflecting and understanding that you are communicating badly back and forth with each other right now in real time. No, he needs to see it. So when he watch it back, he'll see I need to make some corrections, and I will watch it back, and I would do my best to make the same corrections that I need in real time as well. Okay, we'll let OtisWho jump in here, so this way me and Black don't be so angry at each other, and we can just keep the conversation going. And I also want to get Taz exclusive in there as well.
Y'all just keep derailing what I'm trying to ask this man. But go ahead, Otis.
I'm gonna say it real quick, and and PhD, please come in right after me, and I'm gonna say it real quick. This platform is great, and this what's happening right now. What just happened, it needs to happen. But I'm being honest, Sharon. You're not hearing what that grown man, which was hard for him to do, admit to you. He just said, because I heard him, he just said, allow him to process what you just told him. In my opinion, instead of you doing that, you was too eager to respond. He just said, allow him to digest what you said, man.
Perfect, Otis. And I want to say this. So with that being said, so in real time, he cannot. You're right. I'm gonna just leave it as that because I process information pretty fast. So I apologize for that.
And that's all I'm saying.
But the difference is though that we got to understand that people process things differently.
Of course.
Because I'm reacting to his words in real time like this. So like I'm just saying, it takes time for us to.
Okay.
Go ahead, Taz exclusive. Bring your thoughts in. I'm a acquiesce to Otis, and I'm gonna shut up.
PhD wasn't done.
Okay, I apologize. I apologize.
Keep cutting me off.
Damn.
And I was supposed to go after PhD.
Damn.
Okay. So
I ain't running shit over here.
So I asked you about. Well, so first off, so your child's mother, like everything was copacetic before y'all had the child?
Yeah.
Was she displaying any signs of, the type of modern women behavior that you dislike?
Not at all. Breakfast, lunch, and dinner was cooked while she was on maternity rest. When she was working at the pizza shop, she was still getting up and making at least breakfast because at lunch she wasn't home and I wasn't home. And then dinner, I would be back and forth whether I decided to cook because, like I had the energy or it was a long, stressful day and I didn't have the energy. Like I did my fair share. Laundry was on me every week. She didn't have to touch any of that.
Damn, wrong. That was a wrong decision.
So where did it, when did it go wrong? Like, how did it go wrong?
When he started doing the laundry.
Bro, like I didn't ask for the input. Like, and first of all, in a West Indian household, it's not uncommon to share household like tasks. That's y'all weird shit. Like I'm saying, my view on that is different.
Well, it is when you're doing everything 100%. When you run everything 100% of the bills, it is a little weird for a man to be
asking me questions. You know,
goddamn room and putting detergent in the goddamn washing machine. If I'm doing 100% of the goddamn everything outside of the house, saying, hey baby, you know what she gonna say? She's like, hey, what you doing touching that lawn? You better throw your underwear on the floor. Let me pick up them stink ass underwear, baby. You work so goddamn hard. Let me rub your feet. Come here, baby. Let me rub your back. You've been working so hard, getting screamed at and cursed at by your drill sergeant. Come over here.
PhD was said absolutely not.
Do not load up the goddamn laundry.
Responding to your question, have you ever been
stink ass underwear on the floor? Let me pick up your stink ass underwear because I want to handle the women. You better not pick up a goddamn dish and cook no chicken because I got all that because you just got in the house. How you gonna go outside and take 100% of the bills and then come home and rub her feet and cook her some food? You baby face? Oh.
You running it? You still bumping your gums?
I cook too as soon as I get home from work.
So I home Saturday, Sunday. Things already taken care of. She's working 6 days a week. She come home. I'm not supposed to help with anything. Wait, my clothes dirty. I supposed to let my clothes stay dirty because hey, she didn't do laundry. So I can call my boss Monday and be like, hey boss, I can't come into work today. My girl ain't do the laundry. Kind of idiots like this thing you wondering.
All I'm saying is that if you gave her,
Which
I
grown
apologize.
man can sit there and make them kind of
learn some
excuses?
brevity, my friend. Learn some brevity. Okay.
Otis, which kind of grown man can make those excuses about my laundry didn't get done, so I can't come to work this week, or he got to get up and go do it himself, whether his girl busy or not busy, especially if he knows it's got to get done.
I agree. I agree.
All the time to wait for people, fam. Like that's you. That's you. Cool. I'm good with that. I'm not mad at you. Don't be mad at me about who I am. I'm not mad at you who you are. I do laundry. I do dishes. I'm a grown adult. I still got to do these things whether she was here or not here. So what's the problem? I'm helping out when she's
I'll
around.
tell you
That's
what the problem is. I can tell you what the problem is if you like.
But I don't want. I don't want your evaluation on it. I was still talking to PhD. I'm sorry.
All I'm saying is this:
I can finish up with her, and then I'll be out of your hair. It's not me running from the conversation, but
now you want to talk over me.
I want to talk to the
So again,
any you wanted me to answer your question or no? I wanted to finish up with her.
Okay, you'll get your chance. So this is what it is. So if you are going to have these goddamn gender roles like how you say that you're supposed to have, then you need to handle it. The problem is you're not standing on your fucking words in real time. If you're gonna be a fucking man, hold on to your fucking gender roles and do them 100%. Stop trying to
when
do
she's pregnant and she got back pain, I'm gonna do the laundry undone.
Hold on.
When she can't stand on her feet because her ankles are swollen, I'm supposed to knock her toes. You're right, bro. Now you're right. Go ahead. Tell me more. Check you that know Yankee. Go on. I listening. Don't worry. I pull it up.
Not no Yankee boy.
Big up yourself. Big up yourself. I there with you. I listen. Hey, don't worry about the only ad-lib thing. Just talk. Say your piece. We waiting.
So here's the thing.
You're not supposed to help.
You told me to say my piece. Now shut up and let me say my piece.
All right, go ahead. We're not supposed to. I waiting. Not supposed to help.
I appreciate you for allowing me to talk on my show. Thank you.
Wait, Sharon.
And so this is what I want to say. So if you're going to, you cannot double talk. You either going to hold up the 100% of the gender role shit, or you doing 150 because now you're doing your role plus her role. It's either one or the fucking other. And that goes to show that you wasn't doing as much as you fucking think you was. Pull your fucking skirt down and put some pants on. Now go ahead, PhD, but let y'all have y'all conversation.
Okay. Well, so that's one of the things. Like in many ways, they have very defined gender roles, but
clearly he doesn't.
But no, but like so the stereotype with like Jamaican men is they'll pay all the bills, they'll cook, they'll clean, do it all, rub your feet, but you just got to be okay with him cheating all over town on you. And so that's my question for you, sir. Did she ever catch you?
I am not a cheater, ma'am.
Okay.
I grew up in a Dominican household, which is a majority Catholic island, and I only have one mother and one father. I didn't know my father to be a cheater, and didn't know my mother to be a cheater. Okay. So I am not a cheater by default.
Okay.
Right, but have you cheated on her? Yes or no?
No, I have not.
Okay, that was the question.
Okay, so looking back, was there anything that any red flags that you might have missed that you can, like in hindsight, say, I probably should have paid more attention to that?
I would say more on her work ethic. Because that lady's in this business, like I said, like I didn't mind so much in the beginning helping out to get on your feet and get your shit together. But once you got your shit together, you weren't really trying to push until it was basically almost too late. And then at that point, you wanted to feel like you were on top and you had more money when that was never the case. So I'm good. Like I said, like I'm
okay,
going.
Reiterate. Please don't reiterate.
I'm not talking to you, man. I'm not talking to you.
Don't reiterate. We heard you. Listen, just be confident in your words. Don't reiterate. Damn, we heard you. You got to learn some brevity. It's more people. What I'm saying, Black. More people want to Black. We're not just having a conversation with you. We're having a conversation with everybody. God damn it, Black. Other people want to get involved in the conversation.
I would like to get off your panel.
Learn how to involve other people in the conversation. Do not be so self-centered. Don't be so self-centered that you think that this show is about you. This show is not about you, sir. Not at all. Okay, now you just
whatever you allow is what will continue.
All right, cool. So again, I'm trying to allow you to talk, but you are being disrespectful on purpose. You have very bad communication skills. Very bad. You want me to drop you. You didn't want to have a conversation. You just want to talk like this show is about you. This show is not titled Black Conquering King that washed dishes and washed his clothes, sweep the fucking floor, rub her feet. And talking about now you want her to goddamn work on her work ethic? How the fuck you want to change up now? You did every fucking thing and now you want her to work. You already did the first 8 months of her not doing anything, but you want to lay down under her ass because you was a goddamn simp. Literally.
Oh shit.
Literally, that's what you were. You did every fucking thing for that woman. And then you surprised that she didn't want to do anything as the relationship went by. Are you fucking insane? You can't just talk over me. The show's not about you. It never was. Now, if you want to have a conversation, you got to understand that it ain't just you. It's a bunch of us on this goddamn screen and everybody else is being calm and allowing the conversation to go. Don't get it twisted. I allowed you to be on my platform and have a conversation with me. Because in real life, motherfucker, like you can't stand next to me.
He got under your skin, though.
You goddamn right, because when a motherfucker like that got the fucking audacity to talk to me with the results, like he has the results, it's insulting. You goddamn right it's insulting. There's a big fucking difference between me and him. I could teach you something. I can't learn shit from you.
What can you teach him?
Motherfucker, I could teach him how I ain't never pick up a dish or did a laundry a day in my motherfucking life.
What's wrong with washing the dishes, brother?
Ain't nothing wrong with it. But when you say that you have gender roles and you do all these things and then now your life shows otherwise, that's the problem with it. So me, I allow my woman.
You don't wash your clothes?
Me to so we can have our real life gender roles. Hey, I'm not doing this. She says she's not doing that. So the same way how I can request things, my wife can request things. And I'll acquiesce to what my wife is saying as well. Yes, baby, I got it. Don't you touch that. I got it 100%. And she know what? When I come in the house, don't you touch that goddamn laundry. I got it 100%. So either
just to make things clear
or not. Don't be double.
Just to make things clear.
Go ahead. I want to get. Hold
on. I want to make things one perfectly clear. And I'm going off. So you have no problem with washing the dishes or washing your clothes or washing the clothes, brother. Are you? That's what you're saying?
I'm saying if I had to, I'm not going to live in a dirty house. If that's what you asking me.
Ain't that what he said?
No, that's not what he said.
Omni turn signal.
Hey, he's following the
Where
law.
you
That's
going,
great. So what I'm saying is this. So that's not what he said. What he said was, I take care of 100% of bills. I also do the laundry and I also cook. So what the fuck is she doing?
She was pregnant.
Yeah, he said she wasn't doing it, so
8 months
to do it. That's what you just said.
8 months before that. So I don't. What the fuck is that supposed to mean? Is women work all the way up until 9 months working?
Man,
So because she's pregnant, unless it's a situation where she is supposed to be bedridden, some medical situation like that. That's different.
Well, you never asked them. You never got that far.
Fucking goddamn bills, like you said, you better hire a goddamn three days a week maid. Get her goddamn abuela to come and cook you some arroz con pollo.
You know what?
Motherfucker.
Abuela in Puerto Rico, man.
It ain't my fault. Listen, all I'm saying is this. I understand people's words and people just mad because I could see them from a mile away. It ain't my fault. It ain't my fault, bro. You was a simp. And then now you want to act like just because you got her pregnant, now you want to change and try to be some fucking tough guy and you wasn't. You was a simp and you always will be one. And that's why you're upset. Hey. You're upset with yourself. You're upset when you look in the mirror, you're like, damn, why I gotta look like this? God did it to you. It ain't me.
Yeah. I'm not here to defend another man. Black need to defend himself. I ain't got nothing to do with that. But just take a word from advice from myself, and I'm being real. I am him. Learn how to articulate yourself more. That's all. But if you stand on what you stand on, stand on it. Go back and forth a couple of times and leave it alone.
Hey, Otis. Otis,
why don't you dragging it out?
Listen, hey, Otis, why don't you give Black your occupational therapy doctor? Just give them your occupational therapy doctor.
All right, so check it out, my nigga. Check it out,
Thank
my
you. I
nigga. 'Cause
appreciate
y'all
that.
Hold on,
bitches been
let's get
shut down, bro.
Omni been
Like, for real,
patient as
this
well.
shit-
Let's get Taz
Like,
exclusive in there, and
goddamn,
then we
y'all,
also
like,
want to
this
get
shit corny
Omni
as fuck,
etc.
my
in there
nigga.
as well. Go ahead, Taz.
Like, so look, so this what I'm
got
here
you,
to say.
Diva.
Oh no, not you.
Oh,
If there was a conspiracy against black mayors, this is why it would work.
okay.
This is why it would work. The remedial nature of black people's thought pattern, the conversations you rather have, the things you chase. If some motherfuckers wanted to conspire against black mayors, they would easily be able to do it because the people that would matter the most in that don't give a fuck. So the mainstream narratives that are ran against people like Tiffany Henyard, they'll continue because I can tell you there's a mainstream conspiracy against them, but why would that matter if the local constituents of said mayors ain't paying no attention? They only want to talk about these things when they become a viral sensation or some shit like that. So the same way y'all up here joking, playing, talking about this man's irrelevant ass life, that's why somebody could conspire against your local black mayor and you would wait until it's time to get out the Black Lives Matter picket signs to acknowledge it. But right here is the example of why that's happening. Niggas don't give a fuck about shit political, fam. Nothing.
I would never live in a city with a black mayor.
Oh shit. So, but here's the thing.
You said
so
you would never, or you have never?
Would never.
Oh
It
shit!
wouldn't make a difference because white mayors are doing the same shit.
All right. So
there's no difference.
So that's a great point. So now the white mayors are doing the same thing. That doesn't make it any less conspiracy. Doesn't make it any less corrupt. Correct?
Well, in my opinion, it makes it somewhat more corrupt because I'm rooting for black people to be politicians. I'm rooting for you to get in that position as a black person. So you getting into that position and doing something nefarious or negative hurts the imagery and it hurts the conversation of black people being in those leadership roles. I feel like we need those roles, but if we're not fulfilling them properly, how can you go out and say we need to be in them?
Because so now if the white counterparts is doing the same exact thing, and when they account the same situation, we know that white mayors, they get the new mayor and he gives them a hard time as well. But that white mayor don't get the chance to say it is because of my race why he's not giving me the full reins to the budget and all these things. He's holding me back, he's pigeonholing me back. But when a black mayor does it, now he's using race as a reason why this man do not want to have a peaceful transition of power. That's the issue that I see happening.
I don't think it's always race. I think you need some type of working factors to show that race is the mitigating factor. Yes. I don't think you just get to throw race into it every time something is amidst. But again, I think politically speaking, you want black mayors to stand out as black mayors. Well, it would mean black people need to be supportive of them. But how can we support them if they keep, finding themselves on the wrong side of the law? You know what I'm saying? So that's that conversation.
Right. So and they all finding themselves on the wrong side of the law because they doing some wrong shit just as well. It's just it ain't no difference. So when a white mayor does the same thing as Tiffany does and it gets called out, he's going to.
That's the problem, and that's why I'm up here. Because see, here's the thing, bro. Tiffany ain't charged with shit. It's a lot of speculation, a lot of allegations, a lot of viral videos, a lot of people running their fucking mouth while you got mayors getting locked up for SA, mayors getting locked up for having cocaine hidden in the middle school, okay? Mayors stealing money, mayors all over this country, everywhere. And the one that's viral and talked about the most is the black woman who ain't even charged. That's a problem.
Well, that's a strong claim. What you think, PhD Diva?
So I can believe that that's the case. I want to know more about the mayor who had the drugs in the middle school. Where was this?
This is Progresso. This is Progresso, Texas. I can't call his name immediately, but I know the city, in fact. And what it is, it's a border town. So he working with the cartel, you know what I'm saying, all that, or whatever. And he got caught. His brother was the city manager. He got caught with some coke. They got initially caught because one of the city school bus drivers got caught bringing some cocaine in through the border. So the entire town is up. It's Progresso, Texas.
Okay. So again, I don't doubt any of what he just said. It seems like for many, politics is a way to like line your pockets, right? So many people go into it, even at the federal level, the the Congress people. There was an article, this was several years ago, where they talked about like the net worth of the Congress people when they came in and then when they left and how it was a lot more. And so I think politics is seen by many as a way to enrich themselves. So I can believe all of that and more is going on. And we certainly know just from news coverage has always been that way. If 15 crimes happened in the city, they gonna talk about the ones that Black people committed. That's gonna be the headline on the news, right?
So his name is Geraldo Alanis. So he is mayor of South Texas town in Progreso, and he was taken into custody March 18th, according to the court documents. So he was held accountable. So he is in custody, and they're gonna monitor out now. But we got to find out if he's gonna actually be jailed and everything like that.
But
so
my
he is
argument is,
they didn't talk about it.
But wait, I'm saying he's not being held accountable in public spaces though. In these viral videos, nobody, dog, he kept the cocaine at the middle school. He wrapped up and packaged the cocaine at the middle school. That's viral movie type shit, bro. That's documentary type shit. Why ain't we talking about that?
So now, the question is that like, is his people talking about it heavily like that, the way how we talk about our own people like that? So the reason why he's not possibly why we do not know about it, because he's Geraldo. We don't care about Geraldo. We don't care about those damn people, the Mexicans and the border and all that shit. So maybe, but in his own community, are they talking about it the same way how we talk about our own mayors? That's the real question.
No,
I would say that's irrelevant. And I would say that's irrelevant because my argument is centered around the mainstream. The mainstream isn't talking about him at all. But Tiffany, you can find on every station. So because when you start talking about our community, I would agree. And I don't even mind our focus on our community. But my argument is focused on the mainstream and how the mainstream is using Tiffany Henyard and Eric Adams. But I can show you multiple mayors that have been charged with a crime that you ain't even heard about.
Yeah, I believe it.
Oh, he young looking too.
But no, so they're in his community. That's all par for the course. Like, they always doing that.
So you saying it's acceptable?
Yes. That's like
so you
part
saying
of their
so
culture.
PZ, but you saying in his community it's acceptable for the mayor of a Texas Progreso town to be selling drugs for the cartel because they don't want to die.
I'm telling you that's part of their culture, and they are always engaged in some stuff like that.
Right. And so if we're dealing with a conspiracy against Black mayors, this is where I would argue, if that matters, then more of our independent media has to point to that, because the mainstream ain't gonna point it out. The mainstream is gonna drive Tiffany Henyard into the ground. Right. And to, like I say, until she's charged with something, we're at a bad argument at this point. It looks good, but if the FBI don't find nothing, then what? They just drugged that woman's name for nothing. Find something and then come back to me with the Tiffany Henyard story. Until then, I got 100 stories that some mayors lined up for you.
Agreed.
And so that's why I'm calling it a conspiracy. I would have to say there's a mainstream media conspiracy against Black mayors. Now, I know y'all was talking about something else, you know what I'm saying? And this is probably why, because like niggas ain't engaged. You know what I'm saying? Y'all niggas quiet as fuck. So, let's talk about the conquering king. Let's talk about that nigga. Like, you know what I'm saying? But nah, seriously, you know what I'm saying? Like,
Taz, I'm hearing what you're saying, bro.
That means, but Taz, that usually means that they are engaged with the conversation. A lot of times when we talk about things like this, they getting brand new information. It's not information that most people could just talk about on a whims, because you put me on to the Progressive. I'm looking it up as we have the conversation. So it just shows like, people just engage in what you were saying. So don't take it that way. It happens when we start talking about real life things and comparing things, apples to oranges, but that was hilarious though.
Yeah, like I'm sitting back. I'm just listening. I've been listening. I listened to the whole. Let's not do the Conquer King thing again. Let's never do that again. Now, Tiffany, is that the one that was? Is that Nino Brown?
Oh damn!
Yeah,
Was that the Nino Brown?
So that's
So
the,
yeah,
that's the
okay.
issue. We calling her. That's the issue. I mean, we calling her Nino Brown, and this dude is living Nino Brown.
Right. But I'm saying this is the thing, right? America was built on crime. All right. We know this. They enslaved, they killed, they murdered, they rampaged. All right. So I think it's par for the course that, we in politics, people are doing underhanded shit. I'm not saying that I'm necessarily cool with that. I'm saying there's levels and degrees to, like, the number one rule of crime is that you do the underhanded nasty business and then you shut the fuck up about it. With Tiffany, the problem I find riding with what you're saying, Taz, is she was very loud with a lot of the stuff that she was doing. She's very loud. She's very boisterous. She's very flagrant. She's not really trying to move under the radar. So I think that's the difference between that's the primary difference between those mayors and this one in particular.
So let me ask you this though. If I ain't did nothing wrong and all that shit y'all saying cap, and I can prove everything that I'm saying, and I dare you motherfuckers to try me, why I gotta stand down? If every time y'all file a lawsuit, you lose, nigga. Tiffany Hilliard ain't lost to them, right? They tried to recall her, they lost. They up until this moment, she hasn't been charged with shit. They can't do shit with her. You put her in a room with them, she intellectually outshines them, right? All you have is a bunch of allegations against her. No crimes have been charged. So with that, I'm just saying she has every right to stick her chest out and say, fuck y'all. Until you can show me why she need to bow down.
That is a very good point. So what Taz is saying is that we are overcritical of our own, even though they are held to the fire and none of these allegations.
It's a lot of feedback. It's a lot of feedback.
That is. There we go. So they get the fire onto them, and then when it's time to prove it in the court of law, all of a sudden everything falls flat. That is a problem, and we just tend to believe it 100% and say, "Oh, see, this is how black women with weaves that get raised up to say curse words and to their father and correct their father. This is how they act, and this is why women act in the way they act." That is the issue. We believe it 100% without any kind of conviction whatsoever.
I know a lot of the allegations were around how she spends the money, and there's always extra scrutiny around black people and how we spend money, right? So even something like reparations, you'll have a lot of people say, well, what y'all gonna do with the money? It doesn't matter, but there's always like an extra level of scrutiny with black people when it comes to being in charge of money, right? And so that's an old stereotype about black people not knowing how to manage money. And so I think a lot of it is race-based in, the type of allegations that are leveled at her and the fact that people probably weren't pleased with her being there to begin with.
And we also got some order. Anybody else want to jump in the meantime? I got some. I want to play Eric Adams. He was at the Breakfast Club recently, and he was talking. Go ahead. We Unlock Nation.
Well, I just want to say while I'm in the gym right now, I just want to say you're a good father, a great father. How you teach your children is how you teach your children. Every man is his own man. However, I'm gonna give you my perspective on it. There's certain when it comes to curse words, there's certain curse words that I would allow my daughter and my son to get away with. There's probably 3 in there. Let's just say the hardcore curse words. No, that's done. No, there's a consequence for that. However, if you can if you can justify using the word damn and hell to me, which you're never going to get away with it with your mother, but you can get away with me. If you have something that you can that you want to express to me as a child, then we can close the doors and we can have a conversation. I'm strict but fair, and I'm just saying certain words we want to be careful with because we don't want to overdo things. So, but overall, you're displaying how a father is supposed to act. How he's supposed to discipline his children. Okay, so I want to recommend you. You are a great father.
Thank you. Appreciate you. I received that. Thank you. Also, we got Shiesty. We got the Shiesty bum.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Go ahead, Ms. Diva. Make sure y'all are supporting the show as well. Go ahead, Diva.
Shiesty bum, city girl mayor up winning. All right.
She's a nut.
Hey, Sharon, I got a comment on the city mayor stuff.
Okay.
Hey, so what I gather, right, is in order for a city mayor to be successful, they have to have total allegiance from the city manager and also the police chief, right? Because even if the city council is against you, your city is able to function and you're able to move the proper way because you have the city manager and police chief, right? But what often happens in these cities, right, is that the city council will get in the mayor's way by utilizing either the city manager or the police chief, right? And what happens is once they get that police chief to usurp the mayor, then that's when these investigations and rumors and all of those things happen. Same thing with the city manager, right? So to understand, I guess as Black people, we have to fully understand how a city government works and operates. And in order for city mayors to be thoroughly supported, they have to get the backing of a lot of city council members, and particularly they have to stay aligned and make sure that the city manager and also the police chief stay aligned with their agenda, because once that happens, then they're good to go.
Awesome. So now we're going to go with Eric Adams, who's just recently at the Breakfast Club. Let's see what he had to say.
Things that are crucial about the migrant assignment seekers that we need to put to rest that people don't realize. Number one, I don't have the legal authority to stop the buses from coming in. That's against the law. I don't have the authority to allow them to work, which they want to do. That's against the law. I don't have the authority to say, I'm not going to house you and give you 3 meals a day. It's against the law for me to do it. I don't have the authority to deport someone that commits a crime here in this city and turn them over to ICE. That's against the law. So what we had to do was figure out, how do we house people? And so some people say, well, Eric, you giving them more than what you're giving us. Go to the HERC centers where they are, the shelters. The restrooms are outside. The showers are outside. They're sleeping on cots. They get 3 basic meals a day. And when I go visit them, they say, we don't want any of this from you. All we want to do is have the right to work so we can provide for ourselves.
Well, in less than 30 days, migrants won't be allowed to work per federal guidelines, and they won't be allowed to be housed in NYC anymore. So where will they go after that?
They finding their way. Mm-hmm. Out of the 184,000, 60% of them found their way, like many of us have done. You notice you don't hear about the
where they gonna get housing in 30 days though?
Many of them, we giving them intense care. We're not just telling you come here, hang out for 30 days, and we're not gonna help you. No, in those 30 days, and if you're a young person, you get 60 days. But in those 30 days or 60 days, we're giving you intense care. We're showing you how to find your way in our city. We're showing you how to go about applying for housing, how to go about applying for the services that you need. And some people are saying, we never wanted to come to New York at all. Mm-hmm. We wanted to come to another city. But Governor Abbott said, no, we're sending you to New York. Mm. The real focus should be on our national government that's saying, why are you doing this to New York? Check out what they're doing. They're doing it to New York. Mm-hmm. They're doing it to Chicago. Uh-huh. They're doing it to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. They're doing it to Houston. What is the same in all those cities? All black mayors.
Oh no.
All black
Oh
mayors.
no.
And so
I can't, fam.
What happened, Taz? What happened?
Bro, I'm sorry, bro. Like, I don't think it's over or whatever. I didn't mean to just jump in like that. But that shit just pissed me off because that is not the argument I'm making. Now, when he said that, bro, it pissed me off because what those 4 cities have in common, nigga, they sanctuary cities. The federal government is doing to you what your city stands on. Your city stood on sending the migrants and all of that shit 5-10 years ago under Obama. Your city claimed these migrants before it became a problem. Claim them now. I don't think the federal government or Rich Scott or nobody is wrong for sending them to those cities based on the arguments they made. Now take your fucking sanctuary city policies off. That's a bullshit argument, man.
And that is the real problem when they start saying it's conspiracy things. That's the real issue I have with it. Is that it doesn't sound legit. It just sounds like, like how we have these conversations. That's just I'm doing horrible. I'm gonna just throw this on the wall and people are gonna run with it with me. And I believe the mayor of Houston, I believe as of January, he's not even black. I don't believe the mayor of Houston is black. Somebody fact checked it for me. I don't think the mayor of Houston is a black man, but that's nonetheless. The other cities, yes, they are.
It's not. It's a white man.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. So now it crumbles it even worse than what Taz already crushed it.
Yeah, because
so
we're talking
really
about policy. Yeah, this is policy we talking about. That like those cities had policy to protect those migrants from the time when we stopped calling them illegal aliens. Because I was in a conversation back then over a decade ago where that's what we called them. Then it became undocumented workers, right? Don't call them illegal aliens because that's wrong. So the language is changing to benefit them, and we're just supposed to not remember all the sanctuary city policies that went into place under Obama. No, dog, I remember all of that, and now we're here because those cities were invited. Chicago was giving them IDs, fam. I lived there when that was happening. So, I'm insulted by it. Like, well, wait, fam, I'm here coming up a little bit, trying to get myself. I got my son, like we doing our thing. And you mean to tell me I got to compete with them and they coming in equal and they don't even have identification? I got to watch them get ID illegally? Nah, fam, I watched the city do that. I watched the city do it.
Well, Otis agrees with them. He's saying they cheap labor. So Otis actually enjoys.
There you go. There you go. Stop it, bro. Two things can be true at the same time, but I hear you. I go with that narrative. It gets the crowd going. I got it.
And that's where it becomes that slippery slope. That so as he was starting off in the beginning, he was saying everything that was 100% correct. He does not have the power to do those things. So if somebody comes over here illegally, the mayor himself does not have the power to just deport them. They got to go through a whole process to deport them. You cannot just turn the buses away. And then now when we go into the policy part, which Taz jumped into so beautifully and said, hey, your city is what allows that. That's why they got sent to those
I
cities.
like
So
they got mad.
You cannot hold the state that doesn't have those same policies to the fact that you holding your policy. Then now you mad because they send the bus to where it's all good.
I think it's because he started off telling the truth and it was a legitimate argument. It sounded good. When he flipped it around, I think it kind of got under my skin, bro. Like I kind of snapped there, like what? Like so, my bad. Like, but nah, that kind of got under my skin. Like, what you mean, bro? You think we dumb? Like, you know what I'm saying? That's how I felt about that.
Don't they give them debit cards with like $1,400-$1,500 on it?
Yeah, $1,400 for the month. So I believe they spent out like $53 million of tax dollars to give out prepaid debit cards to illegal immigrants.
That's crazy.
So that is sound a little crazy, and it wound up being like $1,400 a month. That's what it turns out to be. And then the fact that you use the fact, oh well, we don't treat them as nice as you, because we make them pee outside and take showers outside.
Right.
What
They ain't supposed to be here.
So if that is the case, so why do you don't at least do that to the homeless people that's fighting back and say they don't want to go into these goddamn homeless shelters?
Right.
It's okay for these goddamn immigrants, so why not have it for the goddamn homeless people too then? Because they don't have a place. They wash it up in goddamn bathrooms. Any public bathroom they could walk into, they just go ahead and wash up there. So why you not doing that for the people that's here? The ones that they got ones that want to be in shelters. Okay, give them that. The ones that scared to be in shelters, give them the situation that you gave those illegal immigrants, so they can at least have some kind of option. Because it's ridiculous over here in New York City. You can't go to no public bathroom without somebody washing their ass. I mean, with their hand, they don't even have a top. You go in Bryant Park, you go to that bathroom, it's a beautiful bathroom, but it smells disgusting like piss. Why? Because it's some homeless man in there washing his ass. At least give him the opportunity to fucking wash his ass outside. Shit. Give him a place where
always
go to the bathroom at. They don't have no place to go to the bathroom. You're not just dodging dog shit, you're dodging human shit sometimes.
I always find it interesting though that argument that he's making, because he's not a governor, of course, but I do think a challenge is legitimate in some of this, and because, for example, like with the weed, like weed is against federal regulation. They can go shut that shit down any day they want to. It's still federally illegal, yet these states do it knowing they're challenging the government as they do it. So don't tell me about federal law that you can't challenge. You know what I'm saying? They can challenge absolutely federal law, and we see it all the time, but they just don't want to challenge it in this regard.
Great point. Good day to you, Pastor. What's your thoughts?
What's good? What's good? I'm glad I got onto the mayors and what's going on politically in this country. I do not technically think there is a conspiracy against black mayors. I do think that black people went right along with these sanctuary cities until they start to feel that pressure on their back from them people taking their jobs. Now, what's going on with America and Mexico with this migrant thing? It has to happen, because I think America is getting what they deserve, and I hate to say it.
Damn.
America has been running guns into Mexico Mexico has very strict guns and drug laws, and we've been running guns and drugs in and out of that country forever. And now they saying y'all got to deal with these people. Y'all created these gangsters. Y'all sent these guns. These are American guns are killing American guns are killing Mexico. So therefore, we are getting what we deserve. We created this issue. So it's politically.
So, hold on. So you're saying because we sent guns over to Mexico, legally or illegally, that's why we deserve for them to run away from the said guns now and come over here?
We created that problem in that state.
What problem? A gun problem or an immigration problem?
We created the gun problem. We created the drug.
What do the gun and drug problem have to do with the immigration problem?
Because Mexico is saying y'all created these citizens in our country. Y'all deal with them. So Mexico is sending these people across the border.
So what you're saying is that so every criminal that they could find, they said, hey, here's a letter. You need to go over there. Since they send you guns and to run havoc over here, we want you to go ahead and do the Wild Wild West over there, is what they said?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Yes.
Holy shit.
Absolutely not. That's not true. Okay. First off, the crisis is not created by Mexicans. The crisis is created by people coming from further down than Mexico. They just happen to travel through Mexico. And in terms of gun running, dude, have you ever heard of the Mexican cartel?
Maybe not.
Who do you think is funding the Mexican cartel, Taz?
The Mexican government. The Mexican government.
Lie. That is a lie.
Hold on.
Okay,
So you're saying, hold on, Pastor. So are you saying that the cartel does not have the Mexican army to back them up?
No, the Mexican army is against the cartel. The cartel is being funded by America.
Are you serious?
I am serious.
Okay.
So hold on, Pastor. So what about all the immigrants that fly from Europe to Mexico and pay the mules to get them across the border? What about them?
So the coyote system is a large market. I agree with you on that. The coyote system is a large market. We get that. But politically,
so when that just destroy your whole ideology that we are funding the Mexican cartels with guns and drugs and funding and military because people from Europe is using that because they don't need the same passports to get to Mexico, so that's why they use Mexico to get through. The same way how the Chinese use Canada to get through from up there. And the Vietnamese,
they use the northern.
So it's on both sides. It's on both sides of the border that we having this issue. It's not just the Mexican border. So we cannot act like because we are funding Mexico. What about the Canada border that's getting all these Vietnamese, Filipinos, and Chinese, all these Asian human beings to come across the Canada border? We act like we have one border. We have two.
Well, see, I'm saying specifically though, in terms of Mexico, it's not a question. If you go there, talk to the locals. I've lived there, bro. The cartel is the government. The cartel are the police. Like there's no separation of the two. So the reason why they're able to operate that way is because it's allowed. They decide who goes down. They decide who would take the L in terms of their law enforcement. But this is how they make their money. Baja California is a whole network of the cartel, the government, and the United States government.
Okay, so I agree with you about 50% on that. But you have to ask yourself, how did the cartel be able to take over the Mexican? How are they able to take over the part of the Mexican government that they do have? How was that funded? America helped fund them to be able to do it. There's no way around it.
Okay, so when you say America helps, America funds a lot of bullshit. So I'm not going to say America has no hand in their funding. But what I'm telling you is this country is a third world nation. The best they have is gun running, drugs, ST, and those type of illegal operations that run back and forth into the United States. There's no legitimate argument to make that the United States is to blame for what's happening with criminals in Mexico, though, bro. No way at all.
And that's where I disagree. And I see what you're saying, but that's where I disagree. I think that gives them all the opportunity to create those Mexican criminals that are there. I agree. Now I do agree that a lot of the immigrants are coming from like Venezuela and farther south. I do agree with you on that. But we're talking about far as these border towns and these drugs and these guns being ran across border towns and being housed in border towns that be shipped across the rest of the country. That is fundamentally an American problem. Because America swears up and down we are controlling that border. No, we're not. We're letting everything that happens at that border happen.
So we never really actually control the border. The same amount of people that usually come over is what was coming over, and the same people that get kicked out is the same man that kicked out.
When the last time you've been through that border, though, bro? When the last time you've been through the border?
I haven't been through. I used to go through not El Paso, but Eagle Pass. I used to go through there. And it's been like 5 years since I've been down there.
Okay, I went through the border last week, nigga. When they say they controlling the border, what they mean is this. When I had to come back into the United States, they wanted to know everybody that was in the car. They grilling my son like he ain't really my son. You know what I'm saying? And we came on through. You know what I'm saying? This is with a passport, dog. On the flip side, when we went into Mexico, we slid through, no questions. Nobody stopped us. Welcome to Mexico, nigga. You ain't coming into the United States without questions, without them stopping your car, without them inspecting and looking around. When you go in Mexico, you might just drive right through, drive past the dogs, past the guards, I just did this last week. No questions going into Mexico. Every question coming back in here. That's what they mean, bro. And that's happening.
So, and I think what Taz is saying is that when y'all say control the border, y'all talking about the coyote system is what y'all talking about. The people that's getting paid to sneak people in and out this motherfucker. And that's two different conversations.
Political, man. You can't see when you get into these mayors that run these border towns, these mayors that run Houston, these mayors that run Dallas. All this stuff ends up being political because you can't say coyotes without mentioning these cities and these mayors because it's all political.
But also, Pastor, because you're missing the part that like it's not just Mexicans. That's the problem. It's not just Mexicans. Europeans is doing it.
A bunch of
well.
Chinese people coming through. And
Chinese
so
people
people
are doing
think
it.
it's low paid, low paid labor. No, it's a lot of
It's
people
not.
who would have been trying to get H-1B visas coming through here, and now they finna take the jobs that y'all can't even qualify for.
Because we hear them, you hear what Eric Adams is saying. We want them to work. That sounds scary to me. Why you want somebody that's illegal to work?
Well, if that's tricky, because if you don't hire them, what do you have? You have a bunch of illegals just running around your city with no money, no jobs, no formal way, no way of taking care of themselves.
So
What happens then, Sharon?
So the problem that I have with it is that, so what about the people that did it the correct way? And they had to go through all the loopholes. Now all of a sudden people don't got to go through do it correctly.
That's the reason why politically they're talking about immigration reformation, because it takes those people 5 to 10 years. It takes those people a long time to get it done, to get it done legally. It's taking them from 5 to 10 years to get that done legally. That's the reason why that's the reason why so many people are opting to do it illegally.
So therefore, we need to have a system to where we handle the people that's illegal. You cannot just come over here and force your way into working. Because I can't go to Australia and say, hey, listen, I'm the best HVAC mechanic in the world. So let me just force my way into Australia, even though I'm well past 35, because that's the cutoff. So what? I could bring you money. I could work. I could do things to other people. They don't give a fuck. They're going to send my ass back, lock me up, throw me away.
So politically, this country is interested in getting that labor. Politically, they are. There's no way around this. So when you talk about these mayors in these cities and these sanctuary cities, they are very interested in getting these people there. Y'all like these people are there for no reason. We actually voted for these people to be there.
No, we did not vote for those people to be there.
Oh no, you from New York, nigga. You definitely voted for them to be here.
How you figure that? Just because it's a blue state doesn't mean I voted blue.
That is true, but more than likely, you did.
Damn.
I can give you more than likely. That's a good assessment. I can give you more than likely. That's fair. That's fair.
Well, see, and I would say blaming it on individuals is part of the problem, because again, a lot of this does go back to the sanctuary city policies of over a decade ago. This conversation wasn't as serious. People wasn't really having it from the position of, okay, they're here now. It was more of a question of, it's a couple people coming here, what should we do with them? So that the origins of the conversation are the problem. It's not who people voted for today. It's we talking 3 cycles ago.
Right. That's true too. That's very true. That's very true. And also, why y'all Americans is not picking up the goddamn skills so this way Americans can hire y'all. What skills are these people coming over to be, and that why they able to come over here, and why New York is allowing it, and blah, blah, blah. Why is America allowing? Because we are built off of immigration, to be honest with you. Well, that's what America is built off of.
Well, America needs
it is built off of gentrification. This shit ain't gonna never stop gentrifying. I don't know why they keep talking about gentrification like it's something bad. This shit is built off of gentrification. Motherfuckers was following buffaloes at one time, supposedly, and now we live in houses. So this shit always been gentrified.
Well, Teron, theoretically, we kind of almost need these migrants right now, because we got to rebuild the country, right? We got to. And I don't know if a lot of us are in HVAC. I don't know if a lot of us are in welding. I don't know if a lot of us are in construction. So at this point, we do have a problem. And the migrants, kind of to a certain extent, I hate to admit it, but they're helping our problem.
That is another fallacy that needs to stop. They are not
okay. Now that's a good conversation.
They are not better construction workers than we are at all, not even close.
But could you just address what he said? Because I honestly don't have a dog in this fight, and he just raised a good point. And I don't know if it's a fallacy or what, but where all the trade skilled labor, as far as the trade school graduates and things like that only take 18 months to 24 months to get your welder's degree, your certificate or whatever, because I ain't been out there like that anymore. But my point is, you understand what I'm saying? To me, it looks like there's a lack of those tradesmen out there, men, meaning women as well. I don't see a lot of them out there. I don't see the trade schools being advertised, as far as welders and things like that. I don't see that. So
the reason why you don't see that is because the unions actually hold a lockhold on those trades. You cannot go to a trade school and learn how to be a union welder. You got to go to a welding union to learn how to be a union welder. They do not
Okay,
allow
then.
you to. So once you get a union card, you also cannot, once you sit down, you cannot work for a non-union company. You will
Here
be
we go.
held because you got to sign a constitution when you are in a union. And so therefore you cannot even show your skills to somebody that doesn't has a union card like you as well. So the union is actually holding a stranglehold on that skill set. And that's why a lot of people do not have the skill set. And that's why people that come over here, they get this whole ideology that they are better construction workers because they wear open-toed shoes and they swing a hammer. No, they are not. It's just that it's a bunch of them there, so you could get some things done, and you just all you need is one decent person, and you can get small projects done. But if you're doing a goddamn skyscraper, they are not going to be able to cut it. That
See,
building
and
would
this is
absolutely
where,
fall.
and this is where I don't want to go down the rabbit hole, but I'm gonna get off of it to tie back in. But this is where it gets tricky. You live in New York. New York is a prevailing wage state, correct?
Correct.
See, and that's the difference. I don't live in a prevailing wage state, whereas you don't need a union to go work. So whereas the unions are prevalent in your state, there's a set minimum, whatever that minimum is. Whereas you come to my state, there is no minimum. Whereas herein lies the problem with the immigrants coming in, where they could pay an immigrant forever. I'm just making the numbers here, $15 standard. Whereas in your state, the standard prevailing wage is 30.
Because you are paying for his expertise. You're not paying for working. So what you are paying for, So what you are paying for when it goes to those states that don't regulate it, you are just paying for a laborer. It don't matter what skill he got. He's just like, I'm willing to do construction. He read a couple of things. He put a couple of pipes together. He's just a laborer. He do whatever. He do any trade. But over here are places that is very specific, because like in the HVAC trade, I do electricity, plumbing, and HVAC. It's it's 3 trades in one.
Right. I got
But there's a plumber, but a plumber cannot do HVAC.
Right. Oh, trust me, you preaching to the choir. I get it, but
I necessarily can't do electrician work, right? So you're paying for a specific skill. That's the difference. So when you're over there, you're just paying for a laborer, and so laborers, even though we do have a labor union, it ain't nothing that you could teach a laborer really. He's just a jack of all trades type thing.
But didn't Tyson recently get rid of a lot of its union workers to bring in a bunch of illegals?
Yes, they did. Yes, they did. Thousands of them, PhD, with thousands of them. They went around your unions. Politically went around your unions in your cities.
Right.
Talk about it.
So it's not just going to be the bottom of the barrel, low tier jobs that nobody don't want or none of the Americans don't want. They coming for it all, right? Because like I said, a lot of these companies, in order to save money, will get rid of American workers. Sorry, that's my food though. To hire them. And then again, you got a lot of other immigrants coming from places where they would normally be trying to get H-1B visas, and they're going to get a lot of these tech jobs and other higher level jobs that there isn't an overabundance of Americans that are going to qualify for them anyway.
So, but the thing is that, so now us as the Americans, we have to do something. Shout out to CB Music. No, you do not need to come up to hit the link if you're still there. Please, shout out to you for the Cash App. So the difference is that we as Americans, we will have to boycott, say, hey, you don't want to hire Americans, you tripping. It's because the one thing for sure, if the electricians, they don't play with that at all. If a company was to fire a bunch of union workers and hire ununion, it is a problem. It's going up. People are fighting. People are losing their tools. They are robbing them. They are fighting. It does not happen like that over here. Over here, the union is strong. They will fight you. They will literally not let you go past and walk into a building without showing your union card. It turns into that.
Fight against the union on the other hand, Sharon, because a while ago you were fighting against the union and their regulations and the stranglehold that they have on industry. Now you're saying that, we need them to have that stranglehold.
That's not what I'm saying.
What are you saying?
So what I'm saying is this: if we have a problem with the illegals coming in, because they not just taking the union job, they're taking American jobs. That's a different fight. You understand? So if I'm a non-union worker, but I got the same skill as the union worker, I'm still an American. But what you're saying is that Tyson hired illegal people. So that means they are taking jobs away from America. That means you're taking money away from the economy, in my opinion, because we know that illegal people, they're going to take that money and send it back home. So it's a big difference.
What we're saying is politically that I-9 form is about to get thrown in the trash. You want just like thrown in the trash.
Yeah, I know that I-9 is.
Well, all I'm saying, that's the difference. So and we are going to say, hey, listen, we don't want the union here, but also we don't want non-Americans taking money from Americans neither. That's a whole different fight. And that's a fight that we all should be able to get involved with. And then after we win that fight, then we can get back to the union versus, Americans versus American fight.
Sharon, question. Are there a lot of vacancies in your trade?
What you mean by vacancy?
Like, is there a great demand for
HVAC.
there a great demand for HVAC, but not enough supply of workers?
It depends on what level. So on the level that I am, it is a problem for that. Yes. The apprentice part, no.
The apprentice part, no. Okay, because I'm just sitting here thinking, I'm taking everything in, I'm listening. I'm wondering if the dynamic of American society has shifted so much, because you know what people tend to say all the time on these panels and whatnot on YouTube is that the American worker is, people that work with their hands are so undervalued. I'm wondering if it's a desirable job anymore. Like if people actually desire the work, not from a money perspective, but from a social perspective, and how people, blue collar workers, are viewed from a social perspective.
So as a social thing, I think people in passing conversation, they would say, "Oh man, I respect the blue collar, the one that works and get his hands dirty." They say that out loud. One that could change this and drill holes and put things up. They say that out loud. But when we walking down the street or we in the elevator, nah, we're not looked at the same. We're not looked at somebody that is potentially could make anywhere from 70,000 to 200,000 a year. We are not looked at as that at all. We are looked at as a lower tier of society for sure.
That's what I'm thinking is taking place, and that's why I'm thinking from the perspective of whatever Mayor said, that I wasn't here for the video, but whatever Mayor said, that we want to put these people to work, is because by constant disrespecting of the people that actually hold up the infrastructure and maintain the infrastructure of society, less and less people, especially the young people coming up, want to fill those positions and take up those jobs and take up that role. See what I'm saying? So now we're seeing the degrading effects of disrespecting blue collar work.
But I thought there was isn't there like a resurgence of interest in blue collar jobs among black males, or at least
because you know what I'm saying, we realize how we're viewed is one thing, but we shouldn't really care about that as long as we have the ability to take care of our families. So there's a resurgence.
Okay, and so how do you all think that this immigration will impact black males, in the job market for those jobs?
It'll hurt them because immigrants can control wages a whole lot better than people may think, because people want to hire them for the lower wages, which actually controls the wages in that market. This is where it gets nasty for black men trying to enter into construction, welding, and even healthcare. It gets nasty because they bring a lot of Asians in to control the pay range in that industry. That's where it starts to get nasty.
Can I add on what Pastor is saying? Because my past trade was low voltage wiring, anything for us, telephone line, Cat 5, all that, fiber optics. And that's so true. You could easily, unfortunately now, get, because I'm not going to put it on immigrants or whoever, but you could easily get anyone could come in and so-called lay down a Cat 5 line and lowball you and take over my organized business where I do anything from paying your projection TV to 100 feet televisions, put 8 TVs together to make one monitor, all the way down to a telephone line. But you're going to hire someone else do a quick such and such. So I agree with what Pastor is saying. For us being a color who want to try to run a legitimate business, and it's not high voltage, low voltage, where, like you said, they don't respect that on the just looking at it, but they don't know that's very profitable at the end of the year once you add all them installs and run them lines together. But I land my plane.
So I agree with Pastor that they can control wages. But I think it's also going to impact Black men in terms of hiring, right? So, discrimination in hiring is already a thing. And we've seen before, right? There was a nursing shortage, or at least they were saying there was a shortage of nurses from about the 40s. And that's actually what they used to push through. Well, one of the things that they used to push the Immigration Act that was passed in 65?
Yes.
And so the thing is, Black women had always been nurses in this country. Black women couldn't always get hired, right? And so what they were doing was even bringing in Black nurses from other countries, but refusing to hire the Black nurses here. Right? So I'm from Miami, where we had a lot of immigrants, and me and my sister, when we were coming up, would always be like, why all the Jamaicans and Haitians nurses? And that was the reason they had come. They brought them in for the quote unquote nursing shortage. And so I think Black people have to be very cognizant of the ways that immigration has been used to undermine us historically. And I don't think that's going to change anytime soon. So in terms of these blue collar jobs that Black men are now starting to become more interested in, I think we have to be very aware and realistic about what's going on, and then use that to guide our behavior.
Go ahead, PH Diva.
All right, Sin 7 Sin. It's okay, Otis. I'll juice you up.
About to be a situation. Hey, hey, hey.
Thank you, Sid.
Who are
But
you?
low voltage don't have nothing to do with juice. They actually got to wire up a lot of my equipment as well.
And they recently did it as of recent of 2020. This is like the first conversation you had that I cannot actually troll anybody. Okay, I gotta be serious on this conversation. But anyway, they did this as of recently of 2020 when they brought in all the Filipino nurses.
Say what kind of nurses?
Filipino. They brought in male and female. They brought in thousands of male and female Filipino nurses. They literally lowered the standards. They have to test to be able to come to this country to be able to practice medicine or practice as a nurse. Actually lowered the English standards just so they can get in here and get them rolling. And it's nasty work. They're not lowering any standards for Black people to get in healthcare.
You mean a healthcare field, job wise?
Yes, like so they were licensed nurses. They were licensed as nurses in the Philippines, right?
Okay, and then when they come over here, so you're saying they have the skill to be a nurse, but you also had to have a certain requirement of English to actually become a nurse.
So they don't have to take our testing. They don't have to take our NCLEX. So they're licensed to be a nurse over there. And over there, nursing is nowhere near as technical as it is over here, as far as the emergency rooms and ICUs and stuff.
What is this right here that Ms. Jill is asking? This is what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's the test, the licensing exam.
Yeah, they did not have to take the NCLEX. And the NCLEX is fucking hard. I don't care what nobody say. So they have to take that. They just had to be a nurse over there in the Philippines and pass an English proficiency test and come over here and start working and making money that Black Americans or Americans period can make. And we have to take a harder test. This shit is completely undermining us.
So at least they do have to take the test. They just taking the test in their language. That's what you are saying?
No, they take their own licensure. Their licensure test is not our licensure test. It's not the same.
The thing is, there are almost every HBCU in this country has a nursing program, and typically a pretty decent one, right? Because even in the days where many of our universities, the land grant A&M colleges that focus more on vocational stuff, nursing is a vocational is a blue collar job, and so
they could have gone to these HBCUs and set up programs whereby in a lot of these HBCUs, in order to graduate, you have to have passed that test. And so they could have been extracting them straight out of the schools. But rather than doing that, this is what Pastor is pointing out to you. Rather than doing something like that or having initiatives for any type of American, because there are, Asian colleges, Hispanic serving institutions, whatever, they went to a whole other country to bring those people in. And were they paid the same as y'all, Pastor?
Yes. Yes, they were. And sometimes paid better because they're bilingual.
Oh shit. That's
wow.
Yeah, that happens in every industry. If you have bilingual, that's an added skill. That's an added skill set that employers find more valuable. So yeah, I can see that happening.
That's whoo.
Damn.
So they come in with less skills, so to speak. They test is less requirements for them to take the NCLEX test. How you pronounce it?
It's NCLEX.
NCLEX test, and then also after they pass it, even though it's a
less inferior test,
easier test, but the fact that they got a bilingual situation, or maybe even try that, now they're going to even possibly get more money than somebody that has been doing the same amount of years
and hired, not just get more money, but also be hired before you, because the hospital can stretch what skills they do have technically further. They can teach them how to run a vent. They can teach them how to work a pump. They can teach them about science. They can teach them pathophysiology over time. They can teach them these things. It's getting nasty, man. And this is all happening from a political realm, and it's raining down on regular people.
Interesting. Ooh, this shit runs deep. This runs deeper than but when we have the deep conversations and we minding out our real thoughts, let's see. Support the goddamn nurses that's taking the real goddamn test and having a shortage of goddamn, send some goddamn 99 cents for the goddamn pastor. Are you American?
Yes, I'm American. But check this though, it's not. I am American.
So for all the American nurses out there that passed the test and had to go through the ringer, make sure you send 99 cents for them. God damn it, shit.
Hey, but another thing, you even had the Africans over here faking certificates. Was it the Africans or the Jamaicans?
So now, Pastor, with that, are we saying that Americans are not taking advantage and faking a test as well and having fake credentials? Is that not a thing?
I don't know if an American,
not for the most part,
American could do it.
So the school was a bunch of Caribbean people down in South Florida, and it was, they was paying for the degrees, but they were spreading out. When they found those people were working all over the country.
Wow.
Wow, with a fake degree. Woo, that is wild, wicked.
So politically, we got to know what we voting for, man, because a lot of our politicians are, especially in these sanctuary cities and these mayors, they're going to roll with it. If these Filipinos and Mexicans and Africans and Jamaicans, whoever can come into this country, do the work, they will become a new tax revenue. These mayors, these governors, they don't care where the tax revenue really comes from. Really don't.
That's the real issue. So you saying they should care where the tax revenue come from? That we should only be considering American tax revenue only?
This is our country. You would think it would be Americans paying for this country, but they don't. What I'm saying is they don't care, and they're willing to do whatever to get those taxes, even if that.
But here's the thing, Pastor. They don't recognize where it's coming, because as long as that person has a legal EIN or a legal Social Security work visa, that's the only thing that matters to them. They don't know if that person is actually illegal. The same way how they don't even know if the person actually have credentials. As long as you could put a needle in somebody's vein without puncturing through it, hey, you drew the blood.
You see the issue? The issue where that's the issue. I don't care. It can easily be looked over. That's just why we can easily say, is there a conspiracy against these black mayors? Man, they're a conspiracy against Americans. Forget these mayors. There's a conspiracy against us.
Damn. That's scary. That is a little scary if I do say so myself. It sounds scary to me.
Yeah, and y'all know when America catch a cold, we get COVID. Oh, excuse me. You know, but we get
the flu,
pneumonia or something much worse. So, you know, I'm just saying, black people, start checking the landscape and preparing yourself.
So how should people start preparing themselves? Should they go ahead and get them some fake licenses, some fake credentials?
Hey, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Damn.
I think black people, yes, I actually agree with PhD, but if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Whoa.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't. Listen, as much as black people want to talk about how many unfair advantages everybody else has, it's time for us to stack the deck in our favor.
So you saying that, so Ami, so if I user send me your resume and you're going to say you have a master's degree in such and such, I could assume that it's not real.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying get the credentials, but you know what I'm saying, how you go about getting the credentials, use every means at your disposal. We're in the I'm just gonna say it this way, we're in the age of AI. If we're in the age of AI and remote learning, if you are still trying to play the game the old way, you're probably not gonna make it out.
So now, with that being said, so now you're not saying necessarily cheating. You're saying just move with the times.
Move with the times, absolutely.
So that's different from cheating. PhD even said, if you ain't cheating, then you ain't trying. Meaning that shit. If you seen Jamaican bobsled dude over there, he was over there sledding bobsleds, and then now all of a sudden he comes to America, he pumping needles in people. You better go ahead and start faking your credentials, find out where he got his from.
No, don't fake nothing. Get it. But I'm saying by the means you get it, use every tool. Look at the internet. The internet's powerful. Use every available tool at your disposal. Use every available tool that's out there at your disposal. I can't say what I really want to say, but use every tool.
That's a different ideology right there. Because pretty much P.S. Diva said, you know, go hang out with Trigger Mike and learn how to be Nigerian. That's what she said at first.
Hey,
I wouldn't go that far. That's a different one. I ain't co-signing that one.
Man, and he's in the healthcare field too, by the way.
Hey,
they probably look. So you got to cheat. Okay, you got to cheat. Hell, they cheating. That's why they coming over here in big numbers, and they're being honestly. They're being encouraged to come over here in big numbers. I think America used to have like 200. We used to average like 200 immigrants a year. Now we're up above 1 million a year. We're over 1 million a year. We up to 1 million immigrants a year from 200,000. That shit is nasty work. What we gonna do with them?
But I think, you know, look, black people. I think a lot of other people have, you know, opportunities that you'll never get, right? So I sat up in the interviews and watched how people perform, and then watched the hiring manager say he didn't do well, but I had told him I was gonna bring him on before, so I'm gonna just bring him in through a different way. Please. So if y'all, when I tell you, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I mean, if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, right, black people? So don't have all this high morality and you want to go through the proper channels. I even had some idiots that I was in a seminar with talking about, oh, they wouldn't want a job through affirmative action. I told them, you better take however you can get in there. If you got to bust somebody over the head to get in there, do it. Because that's exactly what they're doing.
Hold on real quick. BT said, ChatGPT, let me tell you something. The employer, let me say how wicked this world gets. The employer will lay off, and they're UPS, Tom, the CEO of UPS said that we're going to increase automation in the hub. in the workplace. So that means they're going to increase not increase revenue, but cut costs by increasing automation in the hub, which means ultimately they're going to get see Sharon's face. He understood that sentence perfectly. As a business professional, he understood that sentence perfectly. It means they're going to phase out human workers and replace it with automation. If AI is empowering the businesses to eliminate potential jobs for you, I suggest you use AI to your advantage whenever you need to be out here getting whatever you got to get. They're going to call it unfair, but is it fair to them? Is it fair to you that, you know what I'm saying, they're fucking up your paycheck away for you to sustain and take care of your family just because they want to implement the same tools? See what I'm saying?
But the issue with AI is it leads to even more immigration, believe it or not. America and other countries have been highly outsourcing their all technological things are being outsourced to India, which is going to eventually bring in more. The tech world was even mad about this. They were being taken over by Indians that were good in technology and good with AI and IT. So that leads to even more. I don't think automation gets rid of jobs. I think it creates even more jobs that I don't even think we're even ready to qualify to get, which brings him more immigrants like Indians, not us.
Interesting.
Can I say something?
Absolutely.
Reading the comments, and I probably shouldn't, but I think it was Harmonic Universe mentioned something about why don't Black people buy up cheap foreign land? If you have ever, so I invest in real estate here, but I also am starting to look into investing abroad. But one of the things that you'll find is in many countries, you cannot just go and outright own land, right? So either you have to be in partnership with somebody from that country, and typically they have to own 51% of it, or they do what's called land lease, and they may lease it to you for 99 years, which I want to buy something in Zanzibar. That's what they do there. It's about a 99-year lease, but it's not even a full 99 years because I think after maybe 30 or 40 years, they have to renew it. So anything could change in 30 to 40 years, right? And so it's not as easy as just going and buying up cheap foreign land. You have to be knowledgeable of the laws in those countries and whether or not they even allow foreigners to buy land, because a lot of countries won't, or there's, a lot of stipulations to it. So I don't think that's just a clear-cut, easy answer.
And also, to buy land in some other foreign lands, you gotta put a certain amount in as well. They expect you to invest a big portion of money, not just 20,000. They want like $250,000 to say, you really invest into this country. So it's a big portion. It's not the same as it is over here, where you can just put 10,000 down. No, you gotta put like $250,000 down in some countries.
Well, America changed that law too, because at one point you couldn't. I think that was the issue. So there was a Texas was moving to make it where Asians couldn't buy land in America unless they were American citizens. And then that lawsuit is still going on right now. It's still going on right now. The Asians are suing Texas because Texas told them that they couldn't buy land unless they were like Americans. And they want to remain Asians or from an Asian country and buy American land, and America allows it, but Texas is like, hell no, we got to stop this shit. It's getting nasty.
Yeah, it is. Yes, it is. So are we saying that our Black mayors are not being targeted for conspiracy?
No, I think they're being loud, and that's why anybody that's being loud is going to be more targeted. It's like Frank Lucas said, the loudest one in the room is the weakest one in the room.
I don't know. I think they do have extra scrutiny on them. I think they're going to be under a microscope more than mayors of other places. Because now look, if they ain't scrutinizing the mayor of Miami, and they need to have been doing this for the last what 30, 40 years, then they need to leave everybody alone, because they always on some cricket shit.
All right, so we could go like this, right? So let's welcome to the Conspiracy Chronicles. Let's call it something. Send a single dollar for the Conspiracy Chronicles. So let's buckle up, because let's peel back the layers. Let's just peel them back. Peel back the layers of this onion, and we're gonna turn it into a cry fest, because we had some earlier. We had some crying earlier as we was peeling onions. So now let's talk about the black mayors, right? You know, those brave souls that they step into the political ring, they ready to throw it down. They ready to fight like it's a goddamn rap battle. That's what Ami said. He said they are too loud. Right? So first, let's go with what happened in Baltimore, right? So we got the first conspiracy that I heard, right, is we got Obama bridge collapse theory. Have you heard about it? So that's right. They try to say that apparently because the Key Bridge in Baltimore decided to take a nosedive, some was pointed to their fingers, that Barack Smooth Operator Obama was why? Because he produced a Netflix movie with a ship crashing into the beach. And they connected the dots, and people clearly says Obama was in control of the room. He was sipping some nice, beautiful chai tea while the bridge was meeting his destiny. What is y'all thoughts on that? That's the first conspiracy I heard. I was like, this is insane.
What?
But yes.
Listen, when it comes to the government, as soon as somebody occupies the commander-in-chief position, everybody's gonna have something to say about it. That's how I feel. That's what I truly believe. They talked about Bill Clinton, they talked about George Bush, they talked about Donald Trump, they talked about Obama, and now we got the Crypt Keeper in office. They tearing Joe Biden down every chance he get. You're gonna get talked about if you want to move to a place of prominence. You're gonna and high visibility. People gonna have conspiracy theory. People think that Oprah did some terrible crimes back in the day to amass her fortune. Because why should a black woman have so much money?
Damn.
How could she possibly? People
so
still think that Jay-Z and Beyonce are still dealing drugs.
Damn.
You know what I'm saying? You get to a place of prominence that people just, can't seem to find themselves in. They gonna talk about it.
So what's your thoughts, PhD, with that? They said because Barack had that movie with the goddamn shipping container that ran up on the beach. Has anybody seen that movie, by the way? That Barack did on Netflix? It was pretty
I saw that movie.
They're comparing that's why that bridge fell down in Baltimore and saying that Barack had a hand in it. What's your thoughts, Pastor and PhD?
Man, what's the name of it? Let me get the name of that movie. But yeah, I saw it.
PhD would go first, and then I go after her.
Go ahead, Diva. What's your thoughts? She's not there right now.
Okay.
All right, so that's one. So go ahead, Pastor. What's your thoughts? Are people saying that Barack has something to do with the bridge?
Let's go there. Let's go there for a second. I think Barack
leave
Obama.
The world behind. Thank you, Gregory. Yes, leave the world behind.
I think Obama was a globalist. I do think that there was a calculated effort to bring this country down, to make America have to join globalism, get rid of our borders, right? Wow. I do think, and I do think shutting that bridge down, because 3 bridges went down that day. It was not just it was Baltimore Bridge. What? There was a bridge in Ohio that was on fire, or the mulch was on fire under it, and then you had you had some bridge out west that they had flooded over. So they're definitely messing up the supply chain of this country and making us rely on foreign assistance even more. So I'm not going to put it on Obama, but I'm going to say that there is a strategical effort to globalize this country. Yeah, I do think so. And I think that messing up our supply chain, taking down bridges, messing up our infrastructure is a way to get more immigrants in and get us kind of, I do think it's an effort to do that.
Wow. Okay. What you think, Otis?
Man, I saw the movie. First of all, I just saw it last week. I'm not into that conspiracy theory. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not into it. I'm hearing you. I'm trying to get into it. And I did learn something. I'm going to check my records on that because I do believe in its threes. Now, if there were 2 other bridges that went down that day, I'm going to check into that. But if that is so, then okay. But for as I'm being honest, it's hard for me to get into that. Now that
So
movie
what
is
about
something
what
else.
about the
No,
next
go ahead,
one?
go ahead.
We got what about the next one? We got Mayor Eric Adams from New York City. He's out here claiming that the Texas governor, which we already jumped into, Greg Abbott, is running a racist conspiracy against black mayors. That's what we heard. We'd heard not too long ago, right? So imagine Abbott. So when you think about it, the way how Eric Adams said it, you gotta imagine it, right? That Abbott, he was in the office. I don't know if it's oval or not, but he's in the office. He got his white cat. He's stroking his white cat. He's like, and all this shit. This is what we got to goddamn imagine when they say shit like this. And then as we broke it down, we see that it might not be so conspiracy theory as he was saying, right?
Right.
It can't be. But seriously though, the tensions are high, and it's like a game of what we can say, political chess, and the pieces are made out of frustration and side eye. So we already debunked that one, in my opinion, is the Greg Abbott and the black mayors. And now he's saying, no, y'all were elected in sanctuary.
I was just about to say that, right? That part kind of debunked it by itself to me. Everybody that was complaining, most of those are sanctuary cities. So,
yeah.
But there was an effort to now they will say that they moved all those people to those sanctuary cities because Texas couldn't house them all. I do understand that, but there was theoretically there was an effort to target because look, so black people are not the only ones that run sanctuary cities. They could have sent all those people to New Mexico. New Mexico is closer, and it's a sanctuary in Albuquerque, and all those are sanctuary cities. But they don't have black governors, and they could have sent them there. But they actually chose to send them to Chicago, New York, and Detroit. They chose those places. But there are other sanctuary cities that they could have. I think Martha's Vineyard was a sanctuary city, and they sent them there. And then those
they sent to San Fran.
Yeah, those white people like, hell no, no, y'all ain't gonna send them here, and they stopped it. So why are they sending them to only Chicago, New York, and Detroit when there are other sanctuary cities that they could use?
So now you are saying that now you're agreeing with Eric Adams saying that yes, we are a sanctuary city. However, you make sure you send it to the major cities that have black mayors. Those are the sanctuary cities that you decided to send them to. So now you are saying that you actually agree.
It's fishy. I'm gonna say it's fishy. I'm gonna say it's fishy. I think it's fishy. Okay.
Woo, so that changed. So now, so okay, you saying it's fishy. You're saying you're not 100% agreeing, but you do think it's fishy that the sanctuary states that they send it to, they all have black mayors.
Yes, I think that it's fishy because there are clearly other sanctuary cities in this country. A whole lot of them.
What's your thoughts, Omni?
I have to agree. I think there's.
So you agree with the? Oh shit! We got two agreements of a conspiracy.
I'm usually not on the side of conspiracy. I'm usually not. I try to find reason in everything, but when you see too many correlations, you gotta.
Wow! Holy crap! This is very interesting to me. Hey, Otis, are you about to have your switch spirit moment?
No, listen.
Are we going to hold on to what Taz, he brought the information to us and we kind of sided with him at first, but now that we got some new information though, that a lot of these other sanctuary states, they didn't get bombarded the same way how our black mayors did. Are you going to say that we might have to lean towards
First of all, I don't know why that switch spirit word triggers me. Triggered. That triggers me. But for real, listen, I have the right to change my mind when new evidence presents itself. That's all I'm going to say. I just have a question. It's a logical question. Sanctuary cities with black mayors. Did they drop off the immigrants to other cities that didn't have black mayors? They said no. I need to do my research on that. But if that is true, and they dropped off only the immigrants and they busted me into Chicago's, I know that for a fact, because Illinois is like 4 hours away from me. I do know that for a fact. I know they did it for a fact in New York, correct? I do know they did it there. Did they do that in other cities? If the answer is no, yes.
California as well. California.
Hold on. Did they do it in California?
As well.
In what cities though? Where was it a black mayor in California?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah. So wow. So yeah. Of course. Yeah. Conspiracy. It's a question you have to ask. A valid question.
Diva, go ahead, Diva. Are you leaning towards they are conspiring against our black mayors?
So
Oh
I
my
think
God, we might have to start doing 10-4 Tuesdays.
Hey, look,
It's just a question.
Well, so the thing is, those mayors are very in what's the word? In favor of the immigration and what's going on now, right? So I don't know if it's them being targeted or I know that certain governors were sending them like directly to those specific mayors, Chicago and New York. I don't know, because like I said, they are very in favor of stuff of the immigration, which is interesting considering the history surrounding immigration and how when people first get here, they are always put in close proximity to black people. But as they go through the process of becoming Americanized and
Go ahead.
What happened?
Oh, that got to be a conspiracy right there. Absolutely.
Yeah.
People in black, come and get you, Diva.
You got too many black people agreeing. Like, you got black people that usually troll each other, actually agreeing.
That is scary. When you say it like that, that is a little scary.
Legitimate question. I mean, it'd be easy. Yeah, legitimate question.
Obama got her.
Obama.
All right, so it seems like we kind of agreeing with Eric Adams. We're gonna have to do a little bit more deep dive into Eric Adams' situation, but it seems like we are leaning towards Eric Adams' side now. And so I guess the only thing that we have to look into is see the other sanctuary states, how many immigrants did they send over there of non-black mayors, and so we could really.
We know the numbers are there. We know the numbers
on the conspiracy theory. So the next one I got, and then there's Mayor. Hold on, I got somebody in the back. Hold on, let me see who I got back there. Hold on. Oh, we got my man Leonard. Good day to you, sir.
Leonard,
what's going on?
We are doing well. Thank you. So we also have Mayor Patrick Braxton in New Bern, Alabama. He is locked out like a teenager who misses curfew. His white predecessor playing hide and seek. He's playing hide and seek with the documents moving around like a shell game. It's like a real life episode of Locked Out My Damn Office. That's what they playing over there. I don't know if y'all heard about it. Maybe.
No.
No? Oh, but hey, at least Braxton, he got a lawsuit. He's lawyered up and he is ready to drop bombs like a mixtape because that's what Army said they doing. So now but the only problem with that for me is that we know this happens on all sides. The predecessor, they want to play hard to get. They do not want the new position of power. They do not want to transition to power so easy sometimes. They do not like the person that won, and then they give them hell when they transition the power. And this has happened in Alabama, which is pretty known for not being racist, right?
Well, to a certain extent, Sharon, that's what they doing. At first, when this whole Fanny debacle came out, I was on board. I was like, we're gonna drag the black woman that was a mayor. We're gonna drag her ass because she trash. We're gonna drag her, right? Black Manager style, right? Then I started looking more into it, doing more research on it, and this really ain't about the money. This is about the position she holds because it could potentially block Trump from getting reelected. So I'm like, hold up, man. Like, how much of this shit is actually really legit? Or they just blackballing her out of that office so they can make sure that they get the votes they need to get Trump. And I'm not against Trump, but if you start doing stuff like this stuff is getting bad.
And it got so bad where social media got a hold of it, right? And I actually had to debunk it on my Word Up podcast channel where there was this clip going around talking about Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal was her name in Buddy's phone. So so I had to debunk it. They actually took, and this is the power of AI, and this is why I'm telling black people, please embrace technology.
Gorilla Grip.
Yeah,
with old Granny Panty Fanny.
No. Hold on. Let me make this point real quick. So they took AI, took dude's voice that was in the Alec Baldwin case. It was the case that's going on about who's at fault for the shooting that Alec Baldwin shot the person with the prop gun, and it's actually a real gun and it was loaded. So they took the dude that was answering questions in that case, chopped it up, spliced AI, did what they did to it, and made his voice sound like he said Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal when being asked about text in regards to Fanny. They made it look like they were asking about text messages, and they asked, whose phone is that? What the phone number is saved as? And they said Gorilla Grip Pussy Pal.
Damn.
His voice. This is why black people need to get involved with tech because it's so easy for us to be fooled. Like Malcolm X say, hoodwinked and bamboozled. They're going to do it to us again if we don't educate ourselves.
Wow, that's crazy. I did not know they call her Gorilla Grip. That's wild. I'm gonna bring in Otis into the conversation, and then we're gonna go with Leonard. Go ahead, Otis, and then we go with Leonard.
No, you go ahead and go with Leonard. I don't have nothing to say on this mess, man. Listen, man. No, I don't say that.
Old Granny Panty Fanny. All right. Boots on ground in the Metro Atlanta area. That's what a lot of us call her, Granny Panty Fanny. Okay. Now this one here, this is nothing new for her. She put herself in a hole and a box. Technology told on her. And it's like, okay, when she doggone, this is her deal right here. She was trying to get as much as she could get out of this case so that she could run against Andre Dickens for mayor of Atlanta in the next election. That's her motive.
But why? But the issue is they trying to take her down, not based off. They tried the policy thing, then they backed away from the policy thing, and they hopped on the sexual thing. Like
right, that's called moral turpitude.
Okay. They say she was fraternizing and moral turpitude, or this.
No, they didn't use those two terms within calling it an ethics violation. They're going on the morality standpoint, which if I were a lawyer, I would not be going on the morality, because morality is what's the word I'm looking
It's
for when some
subjective.
people
It's subjective. Morality.
yeah, subjective. Thank you. That's just like with Jim Crow Joe doing what he did yesterday, but it was Easter, you know, even though yes, that's the day of, but he didn't have to do the whole big to do on the, you know, them on yesterday, right? So you got people looking whatever, and then with the gender war thing, you know, politics is a part of that. If no one's, I've been mentioning it. Whereas you have X amount of brothers that are voting Republican because we've already seen the light. All right. Democrats have not done nothing. People say the Republicans ain't done nothing for you. It's like, well, they haven't done nothing to us either. You haven't given them a chance to do anything. You don't vote for them. Why should they do something for you? So the bros are seeing things differently. And I just said, mentioned, okay, you're going to get 93% of the black female voters going to go for the doggone Democrats. That's not enough of a voting block to pull them over the finish line, though, not without the black male vote. See what I'm saying? So the gender war goes into all of that, too. I mean, it's a whole trip. And like with your topic, talking about setting mayors up, they're the ones that followed their Democrat masters on the sanctuary city crap. I mean, I have relatives that are still living in Chicago, right? Talked to me yesterday. They're afraid to walk down their own streets for what's going on. That's not being put in the news. That's going on in Chicago with the migrants. They buck wild. I heard in New York, they walking up to people talking about, give me the loot, give me the loot.
I'm a bad man.
I don't, but is that see, this the issue I'm gonna have? Is that an immigration issue, or was that just Chicago as an issue? Because y'all were making drill music and doing all that wild stuff way before.
No, I ain't talking about the music. I'm talking about the actions.
No, the lifestyle of Chicago did not come. Well, you can say it did come from immigrants, but no, you can argue that long term overall came from immigrants. But right now, what's going on in Chicago? Is it an immigrant problem or a just Chicago culture problem?
It's an immigrant problem because Chicago is the most racially divided city in the United States, bar none. And you do not have people, you ask anybody that's born, raised Chicago, and they would tell you, you do not have different demographics of people that live in the same neighborhood. Like you'll look at like old movies like what, Breaking Beat Street or whatever it is, set in New York, right? You have all these different nationalities of people kicking it together at a party and all that stuff, right? They don't do that in Chicago. You go to a party in Chicago, if it's people on the south side of the city, that's what it is.
So
you may have a handful of West Siders.
Hey, Leonard, let me get some things understood. So are you saying that it is a conspiracy against our black mayors? Yes or no?
No, it's no conspiracy against the black mayors. The black mayors.
Not too long ago, Leonard, because the panel, they all agreed. I'm pretty sure Edelman Williams would agree as well that yes, it is a conspiracy against our black mayors because it's other sanctuary states out there, and they ain't sending people by the busloads to those states.
The mode is this. Gentrification of Black America in urban areas is on, and they're using the migrants to do it. The Democrats are using the migrants to do it because the black voting base does not have the power that they used to have to pull the Democrats over the finish line. This is all about the numbers, win by attrition.
How does that correlate though to the question though? I hear what you're saying, but how does that correlate to the alleged conspiracy of the migrants being bused only to the black mayors and not the other cities where they're not black mayors?
The doggone, what do you mean? Is the mayor
Let me
of
reiterate it because maybe you misunderstood what I said, Leonard.
No, I didn't. I got you. Now in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, is that a black mayor?
I don't know.
Look it up and see. I'll look it up. They're sending them to Denver, Colorado too, right?
Not from what I heard. Not what I. Not
Oh,
from what I.
they're being sent to Denver. Oh, they're being sent.
All right,
to,
so I guess okay. So they all sent it to us. We're gonna check it out, right?
yeah, that's a whole other issue with Denver, Colorado. They're sending them there too. They're being sent to different cities that said that they were sanctuary cities. See? Now the mayor of Atlanta is black. There haven't been a white mayor in Atlanta since damn that long, right? So, but they're not sending them buffaloes to Atlanta. Anybody pick up on that? Atlanta is not a sanctuary city, though the mayors have consistently been black and female, black woman. For decades.
Hold on, Selena. So what's happening is they're being buzzed into sanctuary cities, and these migrants have freedom of travel, so they then go to what we'll say more red or conservative states because of the financial gains. So just because they go to, or they end up in Texas, end up in Tennessee. They didn't ask for them. The migrants have freedom of travel in this state, and that's when they go to these areas because let's keep it real.
Hold on. Let me make sure I understand. You saying that the immigrants is choosing to go to these Democratic states?
No. The immigrants are being pushed into Democratic states, and because of their freedom of travel, they go to these so-called red states where the money is a little bit better. Because Republicans, conservatives hire illegal immigrants. Let's keep this shit real.
Wow. Now what he said, the end part is true. The end part is true. As a conservative Republican companies hiring illegal immigrants and replacing their regular workers. Yeah, that is very true. I mean, you had a company that almost folded in Mississippi because somebody blew the whistle on them. See?
All right, so I want Otis to jump in there as well. So Otis, go ahead, and then we got HQ. She's go right after Otis. Go ahead, Otis, and we bring in HQ.
Okay. Remember, I said it, and the chat can get mad at me all they want and call me switch spirit all you want. But I just did some basic research, and based on what Leonard just said, hundreds of migrants moved to Denver in less than 24 hours. This was an article back in December 22, 2023. And then there's another article, literally 40,000 immigrants have arrived in Denver since 2022, mainly on buses from Texas.
Thank you.
Based on what it said,
Denver is a sanctuary city. Colorado is not that conservative like you may think. Denver is definitely a sanctuary city.
Yeah, it is. I agree. But the thing though, we were talking about the mayor though. The mayor is not black, correct?
Cities in conservative states.
He's not.
But that's what I said. Denver doesn't have a black mayor.
Right, and I agree with you. So we can't say it's a conspiracy now because immigrants are being bused to sanctuary cities.
So now here's the thing, Otis. Now what they will argue, Otis, right? Before we pass over to HQ. So now what they will argue is that the amount of people, right? Because that's going to be
caveat, but yes, I got you.
Yeah, that's going to be the next. It's over 100,000 is sent to
100,000 compared to 40. Of course, there's a relative difference, but I get you. But yes, I got you.
They're flooding one area, which would call destabilize. It would call it to destabilize. When you bring a sufficient amount, I would say that is a positive. I would say that if you bring a conservative amount of migrants to your town, your Republicans or your conservative people with money can hire them at a conservative rate where it doesn't destabilize the natural citizens or neighbors who live in that area from having jobs. When you over push it, then that's when you have your destabilization. So them sending 40,000 migrants to sanctuary city, Denver, is way different than them sending 200,000 to New York. It's way different.
So you just said, I see what you just said you was gonna do that, but I get what you're saying though. I ain't on nobody's side, but I definitely get your relation though. I get it. Semantics, but I promise you, I get it.
Yeah,
I get
because
it.
the population of Denver is
I wanted
what,
HQ to jump in there as
700,000.
well. Go ahead, HQ, jump inside there. Go ahead.
I thought I heard somebody say something. You guys can hear me, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
I thought I heard
Loud and
somebody
clear.
say something about immigrants are committing crimes. Immigrants are not committing a proportionate amount of crimes. That's regular U.S. citizens that are doing all of those particular crimes. There might be crime with immigrants, but they're not committing this overabundance of crimes. There's all kinds of studies that show they don't commit crimes like that, and they're less likely to commit crimes than U.S. citizens. So let's stop demonizing immigrants because they come over here because they need to come over here. They don't come over here to commit crimes, and all the research shows that they don't commit crimes like that. Okay, just because they come over doesn't mean that they commit crimes. Okay, I'm not saying they don't. I'm saying it sounded like it was a big proportion of people believing that they commit crimes. That's just proper. That's what the Republicans want you to believe. That's not how that goes. That's not how that goes. They don't commit no more crimes than a regular American citizen. Okay. It's not a proportion. It's not anything like that. All the research. Do your research. Stop talking and do your research. People do not even do research on this. Center for Growth and Opportunity, the U.S. Census, economic concerns, all of them say all the research says they're not committing crimes like that. Okay. So we have to stop demonizing people because they're immigrants. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, well, you don't have any doggone blacks in Chicago setting up doggone brothels in buildings on the east side that were once abandoned that they're squatting in, do you?
I'm confused. What are you talking about?
What I'm talking about is a city I grew up in. What I'm talking about is migrants came in, you have these multi-unit dwelling buildings, like 12 units. In the buildings, they have went inside of the buildings that were boarded up. They have provided said buildings with power, etc., and they have turned it into a little makeshift brothel. I don't want to say the other thing on Sharon's. I'm not going. Sharon, you know what I'm saying as of what I'm not going to do.
A sugar baby house.
Huh?
A sugar baby house.
Yeah, I guess that'll work. That'll work too. But
it is a growing population. Like when we was reviewing the video on Saturday, when the dude, he is a immigrant influencer, and he is promoting that people learn the squatter laws so they could take advantage of the squatter law and stay in somebody's house for as long as they possibly can, because they cannot legally kick you out. So he is promoting people to take over people's houses illegally, is what that man is doing. Also, we have over here in New York, in Queens, where these women, they come over from these Asian countries, and they are just out there, selling a box right there at 8 a.m. in the morning while kids is walking to school, is what Len is talking about. So it is a portion of it. And also, I do agree with HQ that we shouldn't demonize all of them, because the numbers would support what she is saying. However, what we are seeing is that more and more is coming out that they are taking advantage of the laws of the land over here, and we just, we closing a blind eye to it. But if we see our own people do it, we'll say, oh, you black people, I need to stop. Y'all black people are lazy. Y'all black people are this, and y'all black people are that. We will beat them up. We'll beat them down all the way to the ground. And the ones that are coming over here illegally, already they are a criminal from the fact that they are illegal. Number two, when they come over here, we act like they are all good and like they never did anything. That like we give them a clean slate when they come over here. They are the ones that's only want to do good. And somebody that's over here that maybe did some things when they was young. Yes, they was criminals when they was young, but now they're trying to change their life over as a 2-time felon or a 1-time felon. We do not give them the same grace as a immigrant is the issue that we are really having.
Yeah, and I mean the thing is this.
I want the HQ to jump in there, Leonard.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah, well, I mean, I understand that these are incidents and things like that. I'm not arguing that there is no kind of criminal activity. I'm not arguing that. What I'm arguing is when you say there's 10,000 immigrants coming in and then you propose that 2,000 of them are committing crimes. I have a problem with that. Maybe out of that 10,000, you might have 1 or 2 committing crimes, but don't make it as though it's a big proportion of them. They're not all criminals that are coming over here. Most of these people, why would I walk 2 weeks to get to another country if I made all that kind of money and I was the kind of criminal that could be very ingenious with making money? Criminals only commit crimes because they're trying to make money or make more than money than they have. Okay, they wouldn't be walking 2 weeks in the desert or wherever the young lady was talking about just to make it here to live and then commit crimes. I think these are poor people who want a different opportunity than what they have. They want to change their lifestyle. They want to do something different. So I'm not going to demonize people who walk 2 weeks trying to get across a border to a better life. And we all had agreed that places like Mexico, wherever, Brazil, whatever, have sketchy police or law enforcement. So anything can happen to them in the country. They understand how their country runs. And they understand the United States has better laws and policemen than their country. So maybe they're coming because they don't feel safe. Or maybe they're coming because they can't make enough money. Illegal immigrants don't come over here to commit crimes. Most of them come over because
we got you. So, but here's the thing. So, would you giving all that grace to the immigrants doing all these unlawful things when a young black person do the same thing? He is risking his life by standing on a corner to get shot by his rival crew or get locked up by the police or get shot by the police.
Right.
We do not look at him as he is doing his best to improve his family.
That's a different choice.
I look at him. I don't look at him as you're not the crime that you commit. I have always said that you are not the crime you commit is not the totality of what you are. I get all of that. That's the way I look at it. And if somebody's doing a hustle and they got to do a hustle, they just got to do a hustle. A prostitution has to prostitute to feed her kids. I'm not going to demonize her because she has to do what she has to do in order to feed her kids.
But see, but you're also making an argument, Sharon. But Sharon, you're also making an argument that I was making against Taz earlier. When I was talking about how Mexico was suing America because America through Fast and the Furious was running all those drugs and running all those guns and exchanging drugs and destabilizing their environment to the point where Mexico was like, y'all can have these damn people. That is a lot of the reason why they're here too. Because we literally destabilized their environment. Mexico was like, how the hell are Rugers, Smith & Wessons, and Glocks killing my citizens and I have strict gun laws? How are these guns getting here?
Fast and Furious, Eric Holder.
This has been years and years in the making. Eric Holder don't have nothing to do with that.
I know it's been years in the making, but the thing is this, where they found another big bulk load of the same weaponry was on the west side of Chicago.
Damn. Talk to Beretta Scott Gang with the 5-ball. Says, as a conservative black woman, liberal black women are embarrassing.
Oh, Lord.
Conservative black women are embarrassing. Conservative black women are embarrassing.
Beretta Scott Kang with another 2 balls. He said, HQ is an immigrant in Finland sitting in a
white man's environment. Pretty much.
Okay.
Damn.
Beretta, I appreciate you, Beretta. I just want to say I appreciate you. Bro.
I'm not an immigrant living in any. I have no idea what they're talking about.
God
You
damn.
see the goofy shit
Loretta Scott
people
King got
believe.
some smoke for
Yo,
you.
like, look what's happening in Haiti
You
right
see the
now.
goofy shit people
Like, look what's
believe.
happening in Haiti right now. Their so-called president can't even come back into Haiti. And Haiti, and look at them. Them boys can't even afford a good pair of flip-flops. And look what they shooting down that bitch. Look what they shooting down there. They can barely afford a good pair of flip-flops. And look what they down there shooting though.
Well, let Chicago be quarantined off from the rest of the United States, and it would be the same thing.
Same thing.
You had the folks battling up against the peoples with heavy doggone weaponry, provided by the U.S. government, of course. I mean, let's not pretend.
So again, so Pastor, so you saying that they willing to spend their money on AK-47s?
No, what happens is American gun companies are they are dropping these guns off because they get a 200% payback. Who's paying them? I don't know. I don't think
it's not the gun companies. It's the CIA.
And they're getting paid large amounts of money to. If you look at how did ISIS end up out with fucking jets and shit? We dropped that
again. Okay, you lost me on that one. Say again.
No, hold on. So, Pastor, what you're saying is this. What are you saying? You're saying that they are giving guns to Haiti, but they don't want to give them no flip-flops?
Yes, they don't want to give them. Yes.
So they want them 30 feet running around with AK-47, but they don't want to run them with shoes?
Sure. I agree. Yes. Yes. They would rather spend guns.
You ain't shit.
Yes. In Mexico too. Look, these migrants barely got clothes. They would rather send them guns and ammo than shoes and food. Yes.
God damn.
Well, check this out. You got a guy in Chicago that is a Meals on Wheels for the homeless and all that, and the video is online to support what I'm about to say. He brought a whole plethora of donated clothing, shoes, and all that to migrants that were in a migrant center, right? And he expected to see them the next day when they came out to get their hot meals from him to have on these clothes. What he did see was those clothes being sent out the doggone window in the back, being stolen by the folk that work there. He's the same person that feeds the homeless. I know y'all don't know where this is at. 63rd National in Chicago. It's a Planned Parenthood across the street, and you got doggone El Mucho Ucho selling box right across the street.
God damn, not Mucho Uno.
Mucho Ucho. You know, Uchi Cuchi Wala Ha Ha.
Look, if y'all think all these guns and all these drugs are just moving because America's not capable of stopping it, this is absurd.
No, America is moving it. The CIA is moving it. I already told you that.
We're running this shit. This is why I'm saying if you can say that, Leonard, if you can
Hey, shout out to Sophia Grace. Thank you for becoming a solution-based gangster. That means you are moving in the truth for 2024 and beyond. Thank you so much. What's going on, world class, is we are talking about the conspiracy going against our black mayors out here. Eric Adams, Tiffany Maynard. Who else we gotta go to? Who else is there?
The one in Louisiana.
The one in Alabama. His name is what's his name in Alabama? Goddamn, Patrick Braxton. I forgot the one in California's name right now, and so on and so forth. They all being conspired against.
But see, thinking about it is these.
So that's what we talking about.
They're really ran by color rather than the plump. So you got blue, purple, and red. That's kind of the paradigm they work off of. A lot of these states you're talking about, a lot of these sanctuary cities are actually really purple. They're not as blue as you may think, and they're not as conservative as you may think. They're really kind of purple. So they're trying to swing, we call it swing vote. They're trying to swing them in a direction. So sometimes you can swing people by giving them things, is sometimes you can swing people by destabilizing things, and that's kind of what's going on in this big in all this political shit. So it is a conspiracy. Just to get this stuff done, you have to conspire or work with people to get this shit done. It just is what it is.
Yeah, but when it comes to the United States government, who was providing what to who in Iran, Contra, scandal, Nicaraguans, blah, 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 powder to come here and all of that. Come on, you can't make this up. Ricky Freeway Ross, Kingpin.
Bam.
Provided by who? Provided the product by who?
Who?
Did that in 20 years.
Who
Ollie
did it?
Moore did 2 years for
Who
telling.
provided it, Leonard?
The C to the I to the A.
Damn, and I
The
got
Cocaine Importation Agency.
God.
I know this. I tell them I'm an Iraq, Afghanistan war veteran. As upset as I ever got was when they had us on a perimeter guard, and it was for some Indiana Jones looking dude taking soil samples, and there's a poppy field right here. And it's like, what's really going on over here? We pulling guard on this area for a soil sampler because he was looking for what? Lithium. Then they finally found the mother lode of lithium mines in Afghanistan. You know you need lithium for your phones and your this and the what's them cars that Elon Musk makes?
EV cars, and I'm glad you brought up lithium. What does Mexico have?
See?
A long lithium.
All right, that's it. That is it. God damn it. It's been 4 hours. I gotta these children are here. I gotta get these children some food. They want to make noise. They want to run around. They want to act a fool in the household. We got a bunch of children here, and they've been holding them. They've been holding the energy together and saying, "Can you please finish this show?" And they've been trying to hold it together. So I'm just gonna run it down one last time. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Conspiracy Chronicles. Buckle up, because we're about to peel back the layers like an onion. Right? So now let's talk about the black mayors. You know, those brave souls who stepped up in the political ring, ready to throw it down like a rap battle. That's what Omni said. So first up, like I said earlier, we're going to run it down one more time. I believe first up, I said we got Obama Bridge collapse theory. Yes, this is a real thing. Yes, it's a real thing. Yes, you heard me right. Apparently, when the Key Bridge in Baltimore decided to take a nosedive, some folks pointed their fingers at none other than Barack Obama. Why? Because he produced a Netflix movie, y'all correct me if it's right, where a ship crashes into a beach. Please tell me that's the name of that movie. I forgot. Connect the dots, right, people? Clearly, Obama was in control of the room. He was sipping on some nice chai tea, and he was whispering, "Bridge, meet your destiny." Next, we got Mayor Eric Adams, which is a gangster, by the way. Y'all got to see how he be walking around these New York City streets. He is wild, right? So he is out here claiming that the Texas governor, Greg Abbott, is running a racist conspiracy against black mayors. Now, I don't know about you, but imagine, this is how I looked at it. I imagine Abbott. He's in his office like a goddamn movie made from Mike Myers. He got his white cat. He's grabbing on the cat. He's stroking the white cat. He's plotting like a goddamn villain that he is. You know, doing that evil laugh. Right? And he's conspiring against all of the black mayors. So we know the tensions are very high. And so we understand like these are political pieces, man. And they are made with frustrations inside out. Now, then we have Mayor Patrick Braxton in Alabama. You know what I'm saying? They locked him out of everything. He's like a teenage kid that missed curfew. He is now on punishment. He don't get to do any of the things that he's supposed to do in the house. In his own office, he's locked out. But he did get lawyered up. and he is ready to drop the bombs over Baghdad like a goddamn mixtape. Now, I ain't saying these theories are gospel truth. They more like a late night infomercial. You know what I'm saying? I crack myself up sometimes. I'm sorry. But we got these black mayors. They navigated in this minefield. They like Indiana Jones, goddammit. Dodging snakes and body traps and budget cuts. And sometimes just something they stumble upon treasure chests. Like this treasure chest is labeled equal opportunity. Sometimes that happens. So, my friends, let's keep our eyes peeled. Let's question, let's investigate, and maybe laugh a little bit, just a little bit, because in this crazy world where bridges collapse, governors plot, towns turn into escape rooms, one thing remains true. Black mayors ain't backing down. Neither should we. They might bend, but they ain't breaking. So put them goddamn airplanes in the skies. We are the solution-based group. And we building this plane as we fly it, and hopefully it doesn't crash into any damn bridges. We rebel against remedial rhetoric, and we had a good time today. Hopefully you enjoyed your time. Make sure you support the channel, share the channel, like the channel, financially support the channel. That's the only way I could keep on building this. If we do it together and we group fund the channel, that's the only way I could continue this going. That is it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to go start twerking with Meek Mills and get some lessons from him. No Diddy. So there you have it, folks. All right. But the truth is still out there. Yes, I know the truth is still out there. Man, so I have fun diving into the conspiracy talk. It was fun. I enjoyed it. So we strayed away from the normal DMP conversation. Hopefully y'all enjoyed yourselves, as we don't want to just have a regular echo chamber just talking about the same old things over and over again. We will see y'all tomorrow around 9 a.m. ish. Thank y'all. See y'all soon.